Hey, everybody. Welcome today to this month's workshop at the new Get Clients University, which we have gone ahead and rebranded and changed the name. I think that's a little bit more direct than the former name, Get Legacy University. So, Get Clients University. All right, all right, all right. So, we have a very special guest today on for this workshop, and that is Marcel, who was on, I believe it was the last call. What's up, brother? Was on the last call, and let me spotlight me for a moment. Am I spotlighted? I think so. So he was on last time, and we were talking about VSLs. We had a question about VSLs, and what I had mentioned is that there's very few people in the world that can make a very good VSL, like a really high converting VSL. It's a very special skill. And I have a buddy who who used to work at VShred, and he's the guy's like, he's got these 5 computer screens, and all he does is sit there and test out the first 30 seconds of a VSL, and he has like 15 variations that he's running traffic to, and they just get super nerdy about it, right? And here's the point, is that webinars are amazing, but a good VSL, if it's done correctly, will always outperform a webinar for one specific reason. When you get somebody on a webinar and they're actually on the webinar, they're committed to being on the webinar, paying attention and watching. But you lose a lot of people from the ad to the actual webinar room. You lose a very large amount of people. When you have a good VSL means you capture that attention, and the vast majority of people that begin watching watch till the end. And so think of it like the Mr. Beast of marketing, because the reason why Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTuber on the planet is because his videos have an absurdly high watch time. So if you have a high watch time, then you can actually run a VSL, either no opt-in or even native in an ad, and it'll outperform the best webinar in the world, because you lose that stuff. You lose that, you have that leakage, you have that from ad to webinar room, you lose like half or more of the people. However, most people don't know how to create a VSL that good. It has to be really, really good. And most people can't do that. I don't even think I'm at that level yet. You're talking about the upper echelon. So Marcel here has a VSL that is, Marcel, it's $97 you charge for your offer?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
you're spending a decent amount per month. How much are you spending per month?
About $250,000 on Facebook ads a month.
And how much are you making back?
About $400,000.
Yes. So there you go. And it's a native VSL, right?
Yeah.
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 Do you run the VSL in the ad, or do you run ad to landing page and it's just on the landing page?
I run ad to landing page,
Got it.
but I have been doing some tests with the ad, like the 45-minute VSL as the actual ad, but haven't had success with it yet.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, cool. So, Carla, can you do it where when Marcel talks, it spotlights him, and when I talk, it spotlights me?
Yes.
Okay. So my goal for today is I wanted to bring you on, Marcel, because that dude, not many people can do that, right? And I know that you nerded out on your VSL. And so what I'd like to do is bring you on and share with the community. And then as well, it might be, maybe it's a little self-serving, but I have some slides I made for a VSL that I'm working on for our software, and I'd love to get your eyes on it. And you know, I usually roast people, right? I'd love to get roasted today. So,
Awesome.
did you want to do just basic Q&A, or did you have something prepared?
Yeah. So after that first conversation that we had, I actually prepared some material
Awesome.
here. And yeah, I didn't want to make it too theoretical, get into the depths of psychology and stuff like that. So I just got them to the meat of it, like the 80-20 of it, and how they can how people watching today can like get off this call and write their copy and their VSL today.
Boom.
That's yeah,
Awesome. 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 Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. I'll let you take it away. Then I might ask some questions, and then I'd love for you
awesome.
to take a peek at mine. And I think we'd learn a lot from you being like, no, Dan, that sucks. That's wrong. So that would be fantastic.
100%.
All right, awesome. Take it away, sir.
All right. Hey guys, how's everybody going? Everybody doing good? I can see the chat here. So if you guys want to ask anything while I'm speaking here, you can feel free. And if Dan also wants to stop me at any moment, we can do that as well. So yeah. And oh, Dan, on our first call, we spoke about my backend funnel, which you gave me the idea of, instead of pitching them, just something off topic real quick, instead of pitching them at the module 7, which I was doing, you said, why don't just pitch them at the first day, right?
Right.
And so that's what we did. And so I just got the lesson where I pitched this thing on module 7 and duplicated it to module 0, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. And we went from 12 booked calls a day to 67 booked calls a day. And we're making way more sales right now.
Yo.
So that's amazing. So thank you very much for that.
Hold on. I'm back. Wait. So you went from 12 book calls a day to 67 booked calls a day?
Yes, sir.
With the same exact leads, nothing changed. All you did was tweak where you put the call to action.
Just duplicated that call to action to day 0, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. Because I was like, fuck it, Dan knows more about this backend stuff than me, so I'm going to do what he says. And we went from 12 booked calls a day to 67 booked calls a day. And we also do group sales calls. And so I have one closer handling like 90, almost 90 calls a day at this point.
We've switched into group sales model as well. Yeah. I just had 3 people on earlier because it was our first day doing it, and I closed 2. So I love that method. I'm gonna work the sales process out. I saw Vince Reed do this thing where the closer comes on, says hello, plays a video from Vince, and then and so Vince is pitching, and then he just answers questions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It was baller, dude. That way it's the same every time. It was baller. It was great.
Super interesting. Love it. Love that idea.
But okay, good. Then the fact that you went from 12 calls a day to 67 calls, I imagine you're making a lot more money.
Yes. I mean, the conversion rate dropped a little bit because obviously they're not as hot as the module 7, but we still are making way more sales than we were making prior to this.
Can you give me any idea of what the difference is? There's no IRS agents on here.
Before, our conversion rate on the calls were about 15%, and now they're about 7%. So like cut it in half, but we're getting way more calls and way more sales because of that.
Wow. Yeah, if you cut it in half, but so
my $97 a month for this thing has paid itself tenfold already.
Wow. Yeah, you made a lot more money then. Oh my God. Yeah. If with the math of that, because you've way more than doubled your calls. Holy moly. Wow. Dude, that's awesome. So, then I won't feel bad about having you look at my VSL after this.
Of course not. Dan, how much time do I have this? Because I want to get through as much content as possible without being too overwhelming and with going straight to the chase and practical.
I have until about 2:45. So you have
what time is that? Where
120
what time zone are you? 120? It's 2:20 here. So you have about an hour.
20 minutes, yes. So I'm so sorry, sir. Go ahead, take it away.
No problem. So I mean, first of all, right off the bat, just to get this out there, English is not my first language, guys, okay? Because I'm Brazilian, so English is not my first language. So if I say anything that's kind of weird, just let me know. Like, Marcel, I didn't get what you said, but I think we can do this. And what else? Well, just briefly, because I don't want to bore anybody on my story. My story is probably more interesting to me than it will be to you guys, but I want to hear it one more time. Just briefly, I was born in south of Brazil. When I was 1 year, when I was one, my parents decided to go to the U.S., and so that was my serendipity because I learned English in the U.S. If I had not learned English at 1 year old, I don't know where I would be today. Probably working at Starbucks or McDonald's or something here in Brazil. And so that was my serendipity. I had no control over that whatsoever, but that was the best thing that ever happened in my life. My parents went to the US. When I was 9, my parents got divorced. We came back to Brazil, but I learned English. And that also put a chip on my shoulder to, want to make money, to want to grow, prosper financially, because Brazil is a very poor country compared to the US. And so I was like, I want to get the life that I had in the US back. And so that put a chip on my shoulder to make some money. Long story short, I'm not gonna, go through the whole thing, but at 17, I moved from my parents' house to go to college. I went through the whole. I thought that to get rich, you needed to go to college, all that jazz, and that was like the lowest point financially in my life. And I think, we as men need that to be able to grow, right? I was making at that point, converting Brazilian reals to dollars, about $200 a month. And my rent was a tiny studio apartment, no heating, no AC, no Wi-Fi even. I had to go to college to get Wi-Fi. And my rent was $150 a month. And so I had $50 for everything else that I needed. And at that time, I used to follow Tai Lopez, the Here in My Garage guy. I mean, I still follow him, but, at that time I started following this guy, seemed interesting because it resonated with me, wanted to make money, whatever. And Tai Lopez, in one of his live streams, was speaking about Jim Rohn and a video called Best Life Ever on YouTube. And it's a 4-hour, 30 minutes long video on YouTube. And this video from Jim Rohn changed my life completely. And about 7 years later, I became a millionaire just by using this Jim Rohn's video. It's completely life-changing. So you can search it up. It's free. Jim Rohn, Best Life Ever. This video completely changed my life. 7 years later, I became a millionaire. And so in this presentation, Jim Rohn talked about a book called Think and Grow Rich. So I started to read that book as well. He gives a lot of book recommendations, but it's a completely life-changing presentation. And a couple months later, after, and by the way, I watch this Jim Rohn video at least once a month to this day. It is life-changing, truly. Okay. And so a couple months later after that, I, finished reading Think and Grow Rich. I was doing the affirmations and whatever, and call it God, call it, just statistics, call it whatever you want, the universe. But I saw a video of a guy talking about drop shipping, right? And I was like, this is interesting, but I don't know if I can do this in Brazil, because the video was from a guy, I think, in the US doing drop shipping. And I was like, let me research this, see if I can do this thing in Brazil. So I started doing drop shipping, got a little success, got some success in drop shipping, made like $20,000, which, keep in mind, for Brazil, $20,000 is so much money. It's like you can, with $20,000 a year in Brazil, you can live like a millionaire lifestyle in the US, just to give some comparison. And when I started doing drop shipping, I thought I was the only one in the entire Brazil doing this, because I never saw anybody speak of this, right? And one day I saw an ad from this guy, Caio Ferreira. We're still good friends to this day. And he was selling a drop shipping course with a super long VSL, right? We're going to get into VSLs in just a moment. And I emailed him. I emailed his team, I was like, hey, I see you do drop shipping. I think I'm the only guy. I mean, there was a bunch of them, but I thought I was the only one. I think I'm the only one doing it in Brazil. You want to do it together? We can dominate the market. And he just answered like, no, thank you. I already have a business partner. But he was interested in seeing what I was doing, because I was doing something different that most dropshippers do, which was I was doing a one product store. Instead of having a store with a bunch of products, I just had a one product store. And he was interested in that. And so he was like, we emailed back and forth. He was like, you want to shoot a course with me to teach that unique thing that you have, that it's just a one store product? And I was like, sure. And so we did we shot a course together, and we shot a super long sales video which was a VSL. Never heard about it until that point. And I thought it wasn't going to work because, like, you know, who's going to buy from a 50-minute video? It makes no sense. But that was the first $200,000 that we made in sales with this VSL. And keep in mind, $200,000 for Brazil is a lot of money. And so I only made like 4% of that because his team was investing in all the ads, but whatever. I made a little bit of money and I got introduced to this idea of long format VSLs. And hint, hint to our next subject, which is going to be super important, the mechanism of my copy of my VSL, which is simply the like what's different from my VSL than other VSLs. The mechanism, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. It was the one product page, okay? Because nobody used to do that at the time. And so a couple months after launching that course, I was wanting to quit drop shipping because my stores were failing, and frankly, I was lazy. I didn't want to keep testing product. I was like, let me figure out something else to do. And so I started selling some social media marketing services, you know, to local businesses. And then I was like, I don't want to do this as well because I don't want to deal with clients and I want to make more money. I want to scale this thing more. And I saw a dating VSL. It popped up on Facebook, an ad. And I clicked on the thing and I watched the whole entire VSL. It was a Brazilian guy selling a dating course. And by the way, I didn't need a dating course for any of you who might be thinking that now. I already was dating at the time and I am married, but I was interested in the VSL, right? And I wasn't even in the market for a dating course. And by the time I got to the end of the VSL, I was like, holy shit, I need to buy this thing because this can even help me in my current relationship, right? So that's how persuasive that was. It was like a 45-minute VSL. And the moment I saw that video and finished that VSL, I was like, boom, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a VSL to teach local businesses how to market their businesses and sell more. And so that's what I did. I started writing the copy. And this is super important, guys. Jim Rohn calls this the law of diminishing intent, right? You intend to when you're inspired. You intend to do something when you're motivated. And then if you don't take action prompto, if you don't take action at that second, if you let a day go by, a week go by, a month go by, a year go by, the idea is long gone, cold inside your mind, and you'll never do it again. And if you do it, it's not going to be as good as if you just took action on that day. And so in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you guys the top secret of VSLs and how I scaled my VSLs to millions of dollars. And so I urge you guys to, after this call, please take action and write your actual VSL. Like open a notepad, open the resources that I'm going to give you guys in the next couple of minutes, okay? And just do this thing, because if you don't do it today, you won't do it tomorrow. If you don't do it next week, next month, it's the law of diminishing intent. So take action today, all right? And so I saw that VSL, I was inspired, and I started writing. So what did I do? At the time, I didn't know how to download a video off a web page, right? So what I did, and the thing about VSLs is that some don't allow for pause, but most of them don't allow for scrolling through the video, right? Because the idea is they watch the whole entire thing, every word of it. You can't scroll or see the time that you're at, right? The progress bar, anything. And so, but this one I could pause. And so what I did was I played pause, and it was typing his whole entire VSL word for word. And I was just changing it from a dating course to a how to sell more with your local business using marketing course. Okay, so that's literally how I wrote my first VSL. Okay, and this is a hint for what we're about to talk about in the next few moments. All right, so pay attention. I was, literally playing pause, and the thing that sucks is when I missed a sentence, I had to refresh the screen. Yeah, now I know that. Lucas, the extension, right? But at the time I did it. And the thing that sucked is sometimes I was like at minute 30 of the VSL and it had like 45 minutes and I missed a sentence. I was like, fuck, now I got to refresh the screen and go from scratch from the beginning to get to minute 30 again. But that's what I did, played pause, and I was typing the whole thing, transcribing word for word the VSL and changing the offer to from a dating thing to a marketing thing. And that's the first VSL that I wrote. And at that time, I already knew that these long format VSLs worked, right? And so I didn't even question it. I just wrote the whole thing, shot it, used basic video editing software to cut it up. I didn't even have money to hire employees. It was just me. I was a one-man guy at the time. My drop shipping stores were failing and I needed something new, right? And so I just edited it up by myself, like super simple editing. And then I launched the thing. It was like a 40-minute VSL, if I'm not mistaken. The first VSL that I wrote was 40 minutes. And with that VSL, I wrote down here some numbers so I won't forget. With that VSL, that was the first VSL that I wrote in my entire life, mind you. The other one that I did with the drop shipping guy, it was his whole team that wrote it. I didn't do anything. But this was my first VSL that I wrote. And that VSL sold in 3 months, $60,000. First ever VSL that I wrote, started, running some ads to it, recorded a bunch of different creatives. And after about 30 days, one creative worked and it popped and we started scaling it. And we did about $60,000 in 3 months, which again, for Brazil is a lot of money. Guys, any questions so far? Or is everything good? I'm about to get in the meat of it. Okay, so bear with me. No, I did not target US. It was in Brazil. It was all Portuguese VSL. Does it work with those videos where it doesn't show you the duration? Those where it stops if you click on it? Yeah. That's what a VSL is. It doesn't show you the duration, doesn't have a progress bar. Sometimes you can even put a fake progress bar. That's what I use. It increased my retention rate from 19% to 27%, just adding a fake progress bar, right? It's a progress bar where you click play. The progress starts going faster than the actual video, and then it slows down. So the person will think like, oh, it's almost done. Okay, he's going to get to the point already. But then you never get to the point, and it takes like 40 minutes for you to get to the point. But that's how it works, right? And so the first VSL that I ever made did $60,000 in 3 months. And then I was like, okay, this thing works. Let me try another VSL. So I wrote another VSL. That second one sold a little bit less, and that was a way longer one, but it still sold, right? So the first one was 40 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. The second one was an hour and a half long VSL, which had a super high retention rate, mind you, was like 14%, which is very above industry standard. And that one sold $25,000 in 3 months as well, did a little bit less. And then the third VSL that I ever wrote in my life sold $750,000. And then the fourth, which is my current one that I'm currently running, $2.8 million in. Oh, the third one was $750,000 in 1 year. And then this fourth one, which is the latest, $2.8 million in 9 months. We're in September now. Yeah, we launched it in January. And that is how I got here right now. So before I continue and get into how you can take all this experience and knowledge that I've accumulated and do it for yourself and make, inshallah, millions and millions of dollars. Everybody good? Everybody understand so far? Dan, any questions so far, or so far so good?
No, I get it. Just to be clear, I think out of all of that, the one question I just want to make sure I'm clear on is currently, do you currently do on the actual landing page, do you allow them to scrub, or like what is the current setup?
The current setup, no pause. I tested with allowing pause. That decreases conversions because, I don't know, they're like, oh no, let me just pause it, watch it later, and then I guess they never get to watch it later. And so no pause. Once they click on play, the video keeps running, and they can only pause it if they close out of the web page. no progress bar, fake progress bar actually, and no scrubbing, nothing.
So to be clear, I'm assuming you still get complaints. People message you and say, "Oh, I can't play and pause," right? But
100%.
yeah, okay. So I want to be clear. So this happened to me the other day. We had a video that you couldn't play or pause. It's a webinar replay, right? And one of my team members was like, "Oh, you can't." She was new, right? And she goes, "Hey, I noticed you can't play or pause on this." And so another team member was like, "Oh, I'll fix it." And of course, I come in and I close my eyes and I remember the last 2 years of therapy I had, and I tell myself, "Don't flip out on everyone." And I calmly and collectively say, "Guys, you're not the marketer. I am. Please do not adjust things without my approval. This is a reminder." And so I had him switch it back. And the point I'm trying to make here is that for those of you out here who get your audience who message you, "Oh, I can't play or pause," that does not mean you should go change that. It just means that that is a natural byproduct of having a marketing funnel that works. You will have people that complain. So what? Who cares? Do it anyway.
You're always gonna have haters, 100%.
Always.
Yeah, comments on Facebook like, "Get to the point already." I mean, these guys. I mean, and I've spoken to marketers, and you know what? When I speak to average people, and they say, "Why do you do a 45-minute VSL? You should let them pause. You should do like a 5-minute, get straight to the point." I'm like, "Are you a millionaire?" No. So,
dude, "Are you a millionaire?" I've said that about 10,000 times. Yes. No advice from the peanut gallery, please. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I know some people are probably thinking in their head, "What if I have people message me?" You do it anyway, and you don't care because that's just how it works, right? Yep. So it's like when vegans say we should stop producing meat and whatever, yet in order to produce vegan food, you're like murdering millions and millions and millions of other animals in order to produce. It's just like, bro, like,
exactly.
Shut up.
Exactly. I have a friend that does about $1 million to $1.5 million a month with his VSL. He's crushing it. It's a real estate business, and it's like a 45-minute VSL as well. And he was like, "I've tested 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, just like me, right? I've tested all the things because people keep hammering in your head, like, no, you got to test that. That doesn't make sense. You got to test this 5 minutes. And it doesn't work, man. And he says the same thing. It doesn't work. 45 minutes is like the go-to, or even longer. The more you ramble, the better, right? Because you need to, and we're going to get to this in a couple of minutes, you need to create an emotional connection with the buyer. Like, it's cold traffic. They've never, ever seen you before. You think you're going to convince them in 5 minutes that they should give you $100? You know what I mean? And so, and this friend of mine, he also gets a bunch of complaints, on Facebook comments. "Oh, get straight to the point. Oh, you're a scammer," or whatever. You know what I mean? But 99% of people are not going to buy. We have like a 1% conversion rate on the VSL, but that 1% makes us millionaires. So 99% of people are not going to buy.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to, point that out. So.
Yep. All right. So I'm not in my usual setup because I'm not at home right now, because I wanted to have like the iPad to draw and stuff, but I didn't bring it. But let me see if we can do this with typing. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Am I allowed to share my screen?
Yeah. Carla can
go ahead and try now.
And yes, to answer your question, a good measure to pay attention to those comments is don't pay attention to those comments. Pay attention to your bank account.
Exactly. So let me know if you guys can see this. I mean, let me open the chats right now so I can see what you guys are saying. Can everybody see my screen right now? Yes, we can see. Okay. What would be a good measure? Oh, yeah, Dan answered that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into the meat of how to create your high converting VSL, okay? So first of all, we're going to talk about what is a VSL, just for those of you who don't know. Then we're going to go into the 80-20 of copywriting so that you can build your VSL as soon as today. And pay attention to the and watch until the end, because at the end, I'm going to give you guys $1 million VSL gold mine. Okay, so pay attention and watch this till the end. And you see what I just did there, guys? I'm just calling you to pay attention and watch until the end. And another little trick that I did here, you see that the words "you," "today," $1 million, and "gold mine" are in red? That's an NLP trick as well. It's a psychological trick to make your subconscious brain pay attention to "you," "today," $1 million, gold mine. And so, like, yes, I want today $1 million and a gold mine. So to get your mind thinking about that and get into a more hypnotic state. I'm not going to go, like I said, too much in depth in the psychology, like how to make it hypnotizing, because at the end, I'm going to give you guys $1 million VSL gold mines where you can have a script word for word. Like, I'm going to give you the best resources to find the best VSLs, the VSLs that are most selling, and you can just get the script word for word. And then, because if you just get the script word for word and put your offer on it, it's not going to work, because you need the other things that are more important that I'm going to share with you in the next couple of seconds. And so that's that, right? So very simply, what is the foundation of a VSL? Well, first of all, what is a VSL? Okay, VSL stands for video sales letter. Guys, remember those sales letters, the 1970s, 60s, whatever, where they would send actual letters to your house, physical papers with a sales letter written on it, and they would sell you something? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger used to sell his supplements using sales letters as well. And anyways, these video sales letter, VSL, is basically a sales letter in video format. Okay, and so basically it's just a way to persuade somebody that's never ever heard of you in their entire life, and you need to make them know, like, and trust you so that they'll buy something from you. That's why it's 45, 50 an hour long, right? So that is a video sales letter, and that's the reason we use them, because they're way more effective than written sales letters. Because in a written sales letter page, you can scroll down and you can skip the things, you know what I mean? But in the video sales letter, you have to watch the whole entire thing, and you can't pause at all. You can't, scroll through the video. And so you have to watch the whole thing. And so that's why it converts way better than a, text. And John Benson was the guy who invented the video sales letter. He has a bunch of free videos on his YouTube channel, which are of immense value. Okay. So what is basically the 80-20 of copywriting so that you can build your VSL as soon as today? First of all, the foundation of copywriting. And when I say foundation, I mean, like, what's the base thing that you need to know in order to have success with your VSL? For example, let's say the foundation of mathematics is, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? That's the foundation of mathematics. The foundation of investing is buy low, sell high. And what's the foundation of copywriting? Well, let me tell you. Foundation of copywriting is believe. You have to make people believe that your offer was the missing piece to their success or to get their result. You need to make them believe that they've had 99% of it right up until that point, and you have the 1% left, right? So that's why it's so important that it's a long VSL and there's an emotional story. You create an emotional connection with them, and then you convince them that your idea is the thing that they need to get results, right? And in line with that, how do you make them believe? Well, two things. Big idea plus mechanism. Guys, is this font size good? Can everybody see what I'm writing here? Yasim says, Goldmine actually is your sales pitch. No, I have nothing to sell you guys today. I have no course on copywriting, nothing. Okay, so I have nothing to sell you guys today. Just want to generate an immense amount of value to you guys, hopefully. Yes, looks good. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that you guys can see this font size. So the foundation is to make them believe, right, in your thing. If that's the foundation, how do we do that? We do that through a couple of things called big idea and mechanism. So David Ogilvy, considered the biggest, best copywriter of all times, David Ogilvy said, if you convince someone of one big idea, they are sold. They're going to buy because they are convinced that your big idea is the thing that they need to solve their problem, right? And the mechanism is the way that your big idea works, okay? I'm going to share with you in the next couple of seconds how all this connects, right? So what is the mechanism? Well, in the example of, let's take Dan Henry's, what's the name? Deal Engine, right? The mechanism for Deal Engine is the follow-ups, right? If I'm not mistaken, I saw your a VSL that you did, Dan, and you were saying like if you can get the money is in the follow-up. If you can do this thing right, the follow-up with our software solves that. You will make 70 times more money. And so the Deal Engine mechanism is the follow-up. Is that correct, Dan?
Yeah. It's I mean, I explain it differently. I mean, which I'll show you here in a little bit. But essentially, yes, it's the system in which you pour leads into the follow-up. You know, most people don't have that good, and they think that their advertising is bad, but in reality, their system sucks, and so they think their advertising is bad, and they get this loop. And I'll show you that, and maybe you can correct it. But yeah, essentially, yes, it's the follow-up.
Awesome. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys, and that the big idea and the mechanism is the one most important thing for the success of your copy, is because you can go right now on ClickBank and search for the most selling copies, whatever, and copy them word for word and just change it to your offer and your product, and it's not going to sell because you don't have a big idea and a mechanism. And so the reason why copy works so well is because of the big idea and the mechanism. If you make them believe that your solution is the 1%, is the piece of the missing puzzle for them to get the results they want, that is when they're sold. Okay, and so that is why we use this mechanism. The mechanism, think of it as you want your viewer to think, oh, that's what was missing. You know, oh, I've almost had it right, but this is the thing that I was needing to do, or this is what was missing for this to work, or this is what I needed to lose weight or to make more money. This is, let me put this in bold because this is super important. You need to make the prospects, the viewer, think that, oh, this is what was missing. It's like, right? It's like Russell Brunson. Does anybody know what is Russell Brunson's big idea? Anybody know?
Funnels, right?
That's it. You're one funnel away.
Well, yeah, one funnel
Becoming
away.
a millionaire. Does anybody know does anybody know John Ford, the copywriter from Agro Financial? Actually, he's one of the owners. John says you're one copy away from becoming a millionaire. That's the big idea. And so when Russell convinces you that you need a funnel and you're one funnel away, you're like, oh, so that's what was missing. Of course, it's not just one thing, and Russell, knows that, and he teaches a bunch of other stuff as well, not just a funnel, right? But essentially, it's the one idea that we're trying to convince somebody. And John Ford is, you're only one copy away from making this thing. Deal Engine's big idea is the follow-up thing, right? Because if you can get this follow-up thing right, your business completely explodes, and the mechanism is his software, right? My software solves this problem. Okay, so this is why this is so important and why you can't just get a word for word script online, you know, VSL script online and just copy it and you won't make money, because you need a big idea and a mechanism, right? And the way you make people believe in the big idea, you know, then comes into the script, then comes into, you know, the persuasion, the convincing, the showing studies, showing statistics, experience, showing authority, showing social proof, and all that jazz, right? But you need to have a big idea and a mechanism for them to believe. And so that's what is the big idea and mechanism, and that's why we use it, right? And so let's get into some examples on how we can do this thing, okay? How to create my mechanism. There's a couple ways. I mean, there's a bunch of ways, but the two best ways that I think is one that I think Jason Capital created. At least he taught me this. Anybody know Jason Capital? The super intelligent guy.
Yeah, he's a super nice dude. I when I was staying at the Ritz-Carlton in Dorado Beach, which is where he lives, he actually owns a place there. I was in the gym and I'm just, you know, working out like I normally do. And all of a sudden I look up and there's Jason Capital on a machine. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, you Jason Capital? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm Dan Henry. He's like, oh, he's like, what's up? And then we ended up becoming friends and we had lunch and stuff. But anyway,
awesome.
He's a nice guy.
And Jason is an amazing copywriter, by the way. Okay, amazing. And so Jason taught me this. It's let me credit him. Jason Capital taught me fact, thesis, mechanism. Okay, and I'll explain what this means in a couple seconds. Notice, guys, that I'm saying a lot of times in a couple seconds, I'm going to share this with you. In a couple minutes, I'm going to share this with you. So pay attention. What am I doing here? I'm opening a loop. I'm opening a loop of curiosity in your mind so that you can go like, oh my God, I need to learn this thing in a couple seconds. Holy shit. Oh, he's almost getting to it. He's almost getting to it. Oh, now he's going to say it. Okay. So that's why we use open loops. So pay attention. The next couple seconds, I'm going to share with you this thing that I learned. And Stefan Georgi is also one of the biggest copywriters in the world. He has a different way of articulating what a mechanism is, but it's super good as well. He has the unique mechanism of the problem and the unique mechanism of the solution. Before I continue, did everybody understand what a mechanism is? Mechanism is how your product solves a solution. So if you have a car and you want to steer the wheels of the car, what's the mechanism to steer a car? What's the mechanism? The steering wheel, right? That's the mechanism. You turn it left and right, the wheels go left and right. That's the mechanism. And so the mechanism to solve a problem is what Russell calls vehicle. Yeah, that's basically it, yeah. And the reason you need a, unique mechanism, okay? Unique is because it needs to be something new that people haven't heard before. Because if you just try to do a mechanism that everybody does, you know, you're just going to end up getting everybody's results. But you need to have a new and unique mechanism. But Marcel, what if I don't have a new and unique thing? You can package your thing and name your thing with a different name and just call it new. You know what I mean? Like I have a friend that does this all the time. His VSL starts to drop, and then he just creates a new one with the same copy, different name, different unique mechanism. And so, like, for example, if it's wholesaling real estate, he just creates a name like, we figured out this new system for wholesaling real estate that's called ghost deals. And then you're going to use these things to make $67,000 in commission, like Bob from Orlando, Florida just did, selling this house. And so you just give it a different name and it's new, right? I don't remember which was the marketer, but a huge marketer said that the word new, okay, keyword new, is one of the most used words in marketing. And the reason why is because it works. If you go on Apple, right, biggest, most profitable business in the entire planet Earth, you see new all the time because people love what's new and shiny, right? They think that your new thing is going to give them the results that they want. You have to convince them that your new thing is the solution. And obviously, you know, sell a product that actually works, because these VSL things are extremely powerful, and you can sell ice to an Eskimo, right? This is extremely, extremely powerful. And so you need to beware, because these are psychological hacks and neurolinguistic programming that we're using, and you can make people buy shitty products. So don't do that. Sell stuff that's actually good and actually works, right? So beware. This is very, very powerful. Okay. And so that's why it needs to be a unique mechanism. It needs to be new. Okay. So let me open up the chat here. Yeah, everybody understands.
I know you're going to get a question of what if it's not new? Like, for instance, like, obviously it's not new to say if you frickin' follow up with your leads, you're going to make more sales. But
yeah, just package it with a different name.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like if you search for the top weight loss offers on ClickBank, you'll see, I think Alpaline right now is #1. And the guy that did Alpaline is the same guy that did the tropical juice thing, is the same guy that did Okinawa. Every year, he just does a new VSL with a new mechanism name, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing, but just the mechanism name, and it goes on to sell millions of dollars a month again.
Similar to when Russell sold the ketones, and he was like, I forget what he said, but was it the furnace example and the kindling, and he said your body has to be in a state of ketosis. But I guess it would always be a state of ketosis. That wouldn't really change. I'm
going to get into the examples now, and this is going to become clearer. Okay, guys. Somebody said, are you recommending naming the mechanism a curiosity-provoking thing and then using a common, simple name for everyone to understand? The name of the thing should evoke curiosity. And the way you explain it needs to be simple, because, and this is another, I didn't even write this down, but this is another principle for copy, another foundation. Okay. CUB. Does anybody know what this means? So your copy cannot be confusing, unbelievable, or boring. This is super, super duper important. Okay. If your copy is boring, people will leave the video and they won't watch until the end. And what you want is people to watch until the end. If it's too unbelievable, like you're going to press 2 buttons and become a millionaire, nobody's going to believe it and they're not going to buy. And it can't be confusing. You can't use too many confusing language. I mean, unless you're selling to a lawyer, you can't use, difficult language. Your copy needs to be simple and concise. And you have to be able to explain it like a 5-year-old child. There's actually something that Jason Capital talks about a lot. I think it's FK score, which is what's the readability of your copy. And so if you just put it in there, you want it to be like a 3rd grader or less, something like that. You know what I mean? It has to be simple.
Donald Trump's Save America speech was FK level 2, means it read at a 2nd grade speech level, and Hillary Clinton's was 7. And that is how he won. People think he won because of his ideas, but think about how he talks. It's going to be great.
His ideas were simple.
Huge. It's so simple that most people can understand it, and enough people understood it that he won, and that's really why he won.
100%.
So,
by the way, that's a super interesting point, Dan. Does anybody here remember what were Hillary's proposals or ideas? Does anybody remember a single thing that she said?
No.
Say in the chat if anybody knows.
I try not to let her affect the cilia in my ears. Um,
Ryan says, nah. Yeah, I mean, and does anybody remember what Trump says? What were Trump's ideas?
put up a wall, make America great
Build
again.
a wall. I mean, you cannot get simpler than build a wall. You cannot.
Yeah.
Right? Hillary got into the statistics of, yeah, women's rights, whatever. She got into the nitty gritty of the details. Trump was like, build a wall. How simpler can you get?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And you know what?
So,
Obama did the same thing when he won. He didn't do it quite as good as Trump, but he was very, very, he was a lot simpler than what you were used to. But Trump took it to another level, like a whole other level.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And so kind of got a little bit off track here, but this is good. This is good because this cup thing is very important as well. When you're writing copy, it cannot be confusing, unbelievable, and boring. Just because I'm telling you guys that this thing is super duper persuasive and you can't misuse this to sell shitty products doesn't mean you're gonna, you need to know this confusing, unbelievable thing because you can't. You got to sell legit stuff. Okay, so where was I? All right, so let's go to the examples, right? Let me see what I have written down here. Let's go to some examples. And then we're also going to talk about something really, really important, which is the actual offer, right? What you're going to sell. How long do we have? We have like 20 minutes, Dan, is that correct?
No, we have an hour. Well, we have about 45 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I thought we had.
But I do want to have time to show you my VSL.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes, sir. And, yes, sir. Okay. So examples, let's go through JSON Capital, fact, thesis, mechanism. So basically it's, you have a fact, then out of that fact, you derive a thesis, and out of that thesis, you derive a mechanism. How does that work in, yeah, Todd Brown is an amazing copywriter as well, right? He teaches mechanism very, very well. So let's get an example of fact, thesis, mechanism, which is JSON Capital's way of teaching copy. And let's get this one. This one is cool. Fact, sharks don't get cancer. This was something that scientists discovered, I think it was over 10 years ago. And so they discovered that sharks don't get cancer because of their skin or something like that, because of the collagen in their skin, something about
I
the
remember
shark's
this
skin.
VSL. I remember this VSL. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was a new study that came out, sharks don't get cancer. And so the fact is, sharks don't get cancer. And so what's the thesis that we can derive from that? If humans had shark collagen, no human cancer would exist, right? And so the mechanism was what? Shark collagen pills. And so this shark collagen pills sold millions upon millions of dollars because of this fact, thesis, and mechanism, right? Turns out that it doesn't work, and so it got banned, and so people still got cancer. But this is the idea, right? Fact, thesis, mechanism. Another one. Let's do another one. Fact, muscles need confusion to grow. The thesis
thesis mechanism is awesome, by the way. I just want to tell you that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I learned this from JSON Capital. He is so good in articulating things in a simple way, because I always have this unique mechanism thing in my head, but I can never explain it concisely and simply. And so he was just like, no, man, fact, thesis, mechanism. I was like, holy shit, that blew my mind. So
it's hard to come up with too. And I mean, I've known this stuff for a long time. And then when I met with my buddy who used to work at VShred, he explained it to me, and it was like, oh my God, I get it so much better. But now watching you explain it, I get it even better, because this is just, it's hard to come up with the mechanism.
Not really. I'm going to share some examples here.
Well,
it's not really hard.
Probably because you have this this framework.
Yeah, I'm going to share how you guys can do this as well in the next few moments. So pay attention right now. So fact, muscles need confusion to grow. The thesis is then, what's the thesis again? Let's create a muscle confusion workout, right? And then the mechanism was what? P90X. This thing that sold, this course that sold millions upon millions of dollars. So this is the thing. And keep in mind, this is super simplified, but this fact, thesis, mechanism over a 50-minute to an hour VSL, where you're hammering the point home, showing statistics, showing studies of why muscles need confusion to grow, and how you can implement this in a workout, all these things about how the hypertrophy works and whatever. At the end of the VSL, people are convinced, okay, my muscles need confusion to grow, and I need P90X. That's why these things are so powerful, and you need to be careful not to sell shitty products, because you can sell anything with this stuff, right? And so this is fact, thesis, mechanism. Everybody good so far? Can we go to Stephen Georgi's mechanism thing?
Yes.
What if I already have a solid mechanism, but I'm trying to work backwards? I don't get your question, Lucas. Can you explain more about your question, please?
Well, if you have,
Sure.
I'll just pipe in. If you have a solid mechanism and you can't create a VSL around it, it's probably not a solid mechanism. Because I've noticed that once you nail the mechanism, everything else is easy.
Yeah.
If that's what you were talking about, by the way.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And so let's go to Stephen Georgi's way. He teaches a unique mechanism of the problem and a unique mechanism of the solution. And so there's two ways that you get in the unique mechanism, and to convince people even further, okay? So an example of that would be, the fact needs to be something that they would definitely not know. No, in fact, Yassine, it's even more powerful if the fact is something they know, because then they already know this in their head, and they're like, holy shit, why didn't I know this and then when you present the course thing and the mechanism, how it works, derived from the fact, they're like, holy shit, I knew this fact all along, and I didn't know this mechanism exists. And so it's even more powerful if they know the fact. You know what I mean? If they don't know, then you have to spend some time convincing them that the fact is true. And so if they already believe the fact, right, it's way simpler to sell, way simpler to sell. So Stephen Georgi's unique mechanism of problem and unique mechanism of solution is the following. Let me give an example here. Yeah, this one's good. So a new study just came out, right? This is you and your VSL. A new study just came out that revealed that bad bacteria in gut is what actually causes weight gain. Okay, so then you go through a whole thing where you convince them that bad bacteria in the gut is what causes weight gain. And so the unique mechanism of the solution would be a new way to get rid of bad bacteria in the gut. It could be like a supplement or a diet or something like that. Everybody understand the unique mechanism of problem and unique mechanism of the solution? So the problem is they're gaining weight, but why are they gaining weight? What's making them gaining weight? The unique mechanism of them gaining weight is because of bad bacteria in the gut causing weight gain. And so the mechanism of the solution would be a new way to get rid of bad bacteria in the gut. Let's look at another example. Unique mechanism of the problem. Oh, this one is super good. Everybody know Tommy Chang? Tommy Chang, the CBD. So the problem with normal CBD is it won't it won't work because the particles of CBD are too big for your cells to absorb. Okay, this is the unique mechanism of the problem of Tommy Chang's CBD. Normal CBD doesn't work because the particles of CBD are too big for your cells to absorb. And then he goes through a whole thing, like new scientific discoveries, figured out that it needs to be of this diameter for your cells to be able to absorb. And that's why normal CBD products are not working for you and giving the results that you want. And so the unique, in fact, this is a super awesome VSL that if you guys have the time, search up Tommy Chang CBD VSL or something like that. It is such a good VSL. And so the unique mechanism of the solution is Tommy Chang's micronized particles CBD oil by Tommy Chang. And so it's even more powerful because he is an authority, right? So these stack up one on top of the other. Ty Lopez calls this the Lollapalooza effect. When you stack up so much psychological biases and triggers that it's like a Lollapalooza effect. You get all the psychological triggers at once, and then they're like, holy shit, like this thing is the thing. So this is another example. Let's look at another one, okay? Let's see. Drop shipping doesn't work anymore because Facebook ads too expensive. Okay, right? So you can go through a whole thing showing like, and Facebook has these statistics, right? Facebook shows like CPM back in 2010 versus CPM in 2023, and you can show like, oh, the CPM is increasing because, you know, these trillionaire businesses are putting billions and billions of dollars into this thing. And the way it works is, you know, it's a bidding system where the more companies running ads, the more expensive it gets. So you can you go through this whole thing and explain to them in detail why this is the way it is, so that they'll be convinced of the unique mechanism of the problem, and then you convince them of the unique mechanism of the solution, which could be, in this case, I don't know, a new unexplored traffic source. It could be, what else did I write down here? It can be a new funnel, a new way to sell dropshipping. It can be a new store, right? Like the one that I did back in, when it was, 2017, I think. The dropshipping course, which was the new store. And the reason why you can't make dropshipping work is because of this. And if you do a store with just one product, it'll completely explode. And so you convince them of that. And so this is like a bunch of ways. I'm giving a bunch of examples because I think that's the best way to learn, is seeing a bunch of examples, you know, on how you can actually do this thing. So a new store, a new discovery, or something like that, or a new supplier, you know, you figure it out. Let's get another one. Let's do one for coaching. So the reason you're not selling your coaching thing is because you're using an outdated funnel, or you're using an old way to do it, and then this is the new way that people are doing it, and it's completely unexplored, and the first people to do it are the ones that make the most money. And so you can use my new funnel or new copy or new video VSL. And again, like this new VSL thing, like let's say your course is for helping coaches and high ticket people sell more using VSLs, right? If you just say that, they're going to be like, oh, I know what a VSL is. And then they'll just Google it, and they'll not buy your thing. So you need to have a unique name that when they Google, nothing shows up. And so we can create like we can just package that in a name, like the automatic video, or the infinite salesman method, or the infinite salesman video. Like, well, what's an infinite salesman? Well, it's a video that is like thousands of salesmen selling for you at the same time, but automatically, and they don't get paid a salary. That's the infinite salesman method, right? Just invented that off the top of my head. So we take a thing that it's just, creating a VSL, and you just package it with a new name, the infinite salesman system. So that generates curiosity. And if they Google that, nothing's going to show up. And so they have to buy your thing to know the infinite, because you're the only guy saying infinite salesman system. So that's why it's a unique mechanism. They can't find it anywhere else. So that wraps about the mechanism part. Any questions so far before we get into the next part, which is another huge part of your VSL? Any questions so far about the mechanism? Let me hit the bathroom real quick while the questions pile up. And Dan, if you want to say something, I'll be right back.
All right, awesome. How you guys digging it so far? I love it, man. This is probably one of the best explanations I've had, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is one of the best explanations I've had of the core of a VSL. This is a great community to be in. It really is. And this is what I wanted this whole time for this community, is to bring people on from the community that can help with the whole community, not just me, because I don't know everything, right? Yeah, it's my community, but I don't know everything, So that is, yeah. So you guys, number one, you should stick around. Number two, you should upgrade to annual just because. And number three, you should tell more people about it. And talk about it. If you're in groups and stuff, man, just say, hey, I'm in Dan Henry's Get Clients University, like yada, 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 let them know, because you got to think, if you tell somebody somewhere sometime, hey, you should be in GCU and, formerly Legacy, and they come in, maybe they'll get in and they'll share something that's groundbreaking. So, that's the thing. Okay. So anyway, Marcel, this is awesome. I'm going to let you keep going. I might quickly run and do because dude, this today started here, and we started from the top. Now we're at the bottom. But this is where I'm at right now. So I'm like,
awesome.
myself.
But yeah, guys, like $97. Can you imagine paying $97 and talking to a guy that did $30 million online? Like, Dan, like I paid $97 and he gave me one thing that made me probably right now over $10,000 in sales. And it's only been a couple of weeks since we implemented this thing that he said. And again, like I spoke at the beginning, implement things, take action. Don't just, oh yeah, one day I'm gonna do it, because you're not gonna, do it. So yeah, man, I love this community, and thank you, Dan, for the opportunity to be here and teach these wonderful ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, dude, thank you for coming on, man. This is incredible. I'm learning a lot. So,
all right, so let's get back on track.
And I'm already noticing all the multiple mistakes I've made in my VSL, and I'm like editing it as you're talking.
I love it. I love it. So let's get back here. Myro, share. Okay, guys, let me know if you can see this. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, so we've just about wrapped up the mechanism. Okay. If you guys want, maybe I can, I don't know, screenshot this or find a way to give you guys this thing here. Oh, actually, you guys have the recording, right? So yeah, you already have that. So now let's talk about the other extremely important part of your VSL, of your sales presentation, which is the offer. You can get everything that I've just said completely right like you have a dialed down mechanism, unique mechanism problem, unique mechanism solution, fact, thesis, mechanism. You have a hypnotic story, you have an emotional, storytelling line, and you connect with the customer, but then you fuck it up on the offer, then you're screwed. You won't sell. You won't make any money, right? So this is just as important as the mechanism, right? So let's get into the offer, and then after that, in the next couple minutes, I'm going to share with you guys the $1 million VSL gold mine. So pay attention and stay on this call. Okay. So what is the offer? Anybody know what the offer is? Basically, what you're offering, right? What it is that you're selling. And so Ryan Eagle says, I've been screenshotting. Good, very good, sir. So offer is, simply put, what you're offering, right? And so how do we make this offer so good, like Alex Hormozy says, that people feel stupid saying no? That's the objective. Make your offer so good and irresistible that people feel stupid saying no to your offer. Okay, so we need to create a what? Irresistible offer, not just any offer, okay? And what are the key elements to an irresistible offer? A why, pricing, bonuses, guarantee, and urgency and scarcity. Okay, so let me explain to this. Let me explain you guys this thing with an easy example. Let me get back to my face here. So why, pricing, bonuses, guarantee, urgency, and scarcity? So let's say I have a banana, okay? I have a banana, and I'm selling you this banana for $1. That's my offer, okay? I have a banana, it costs $1. You wanna buy? I mean, you might say, that's expensive for a banana, but okay, it's a banana, it's $1. All right, nothing too extraordinary there, okay? That's my offer. Now, what if I add a why to my offer? I have this banana, and the reason it's $1 is because it's non-genetically modified, it's 100% organic, and there's 227% of vitamins that you need daily. It costs $1. You wanna buy? Okay, so just adding the why, see how that already increased the irresistibility of the offer, right? Just adding one element, and like Ty Lopez says, the Lollapalooza effect, we want to add as much persuasion elements as possible. And so that's just one element, okay? So now let's add bonuses, okay? I have a banana, it costs $1. The reason it costs $1 is because it's non-GMO, it's 100% organic, and it has 227% of all the vitamins you need daily, okay? And if you buy it right now, I'm even gonna give you an apple for free. Free of charge, you get an apple, okay? Costs $1. You want it? Okay, it's one level more irresistible. Now let's add the guarantee. So I have a banana, it costs $1. The reason why it costs $1 is because it's non-GMO, 100% organic, 227% vitamins that humans need daily. If you buy it right now, I'll give you an apple free of charge as a bonus. And if it's not the best banana you've ever eaten in your entire life, I'll give you your $1 back and you get to keep the apple. Okay, now how much more irresistible is that offer? Way more, right? Let's step it up a notch. One more element, urgency and scarcity, okay? So I have a banana, it costs $1. Reason why it costs $1 is because, non-GMO, it grew from a tree where Jesus was born. I'll give you an apple for free if you buy right now. And if it's not the best banana you've ever eaten in your entire life, I'll give you the $1 back and you get to keep the apple. And we only have a couple left, so if you want to buy right now, that'd be amazing. And so we just added urgency and scarcity to the thing, okay? So you see how with just a simple offer of a banana, we can turn it into an extremely irresistible offer, right? And so this is the next key element to the success of your thing, of your VSL. Let me get back to the screen sharing here. Okay. So everybody understand this example of the banana? Everybody understand this example of the banana? Let's take a real world example. Do you guys know why Domino's Pizza dominated the pizza market? Like at a time where like it was a huge competition, right? Thousands and thousands of pizza shops all around the US. Marcel, you have a natural talent for making things so simple to understand. Thank you very much, good sir. Guaranteed to deliver in it. Yes, Ryan, you got it, man. The reason why Domino's dominated the pizza market, right, is because of their irresistible offer, okay? Fresh and hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. What if I opened a pizza shop? Okay, what if I opened a pizza shop and I just said, fresh and hot pizza? Okay, that's cool, right? Okay, it's fair, right? Fresh and hot pizza. I might buy, might not buy. Okay, that's good. But what if I said, instead of fresh and hot pizza delivered at your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free? See how much more irresistible that is, right? And there's a bunch of ways to do that. And this is how this mechanism and irresistible offer thing is how we millionaires make millions and millions of dollars with these two things. That's why I told you guys that I wanted to get right into the meat, to the 80-20 of the thing, and not share with you all the psychological things and whatever. Just this is like the 80-20, what you need to do right now. These two things, unique mechanism and irresistible offer, is how you're going to make millions of dollars. Alex Becker, look at Alex Becker's offer for his software, Hyros. We increase your ROAS guaranteed, or you don't pay. How can you get more irresistible than that? And so this is how we make the big bucks. And if you guys want a few more, I mean, some guys that can explain offer way better than I can. Alex Hormozy, he has a free training on offers. Sabri Subi, if you search on Google, on YouTube, Sabri Subi, he also has, he calls it the Godfather offer. See what Sabri Subi did here? He just took the irresistible offer that all marketers know about. All marketers know irresistible offer. I mean, the good ones at least. And he just put a different name. Sabri Subi named it the Godfather offer. And so it's a different thing. But he is the only guy that knows the Godfather offer. And so that's why this is so cool. And Alex Hormozy, I think it's at acquisition.com/training. He has free training on offers as well. Yeah, $100 million offers is Alex Hormozy's book as well.
I don't remember it explained this detailed in that book. I could be wrong though. Well, this part, but not the not the mechanism stuff.
Yeah, the mechanism I don't think he teaches, but the offer thing he does teach, this irresistible.
Yeah, I think
offer
that's
part.
too. I know Alex likes to keep it simple for mass market. That's just too advanced for mass market.
Yeah, 100%. And so let me see if I have anything else to share with you. Oh yeah, think you guys think I forgot the $1 million VSL gold mine? Drum roll, please. All right, so what is this $1 million gold mine VSL resources? So you can start yours today, as soon as today. Okay, so ClickBank Marketplace. What you're going to do at ClickBank Marketplace, okay, Google ClickBank Marketplace. You're going to go on ClickBank Marketplace and you're going to sort by gravity, okay? Top gravity from low gravity. Gravity is the metric that ClickBank uses to assess if the product is selling a lot. I think the first place is going to be Alpaline, and then Cortexi. I mean, like huge VSLs that do millions upon millions of dollars a month. That's why I told you guys I'm not going to give you a script word for word, because the most important things are these two things. And now that you know all of this, you can now take these two things and plug it in to a VSL that's already running. You just copy it word for word and change the irresistible offer and change the mechanism and the story, obviously to put your story inside there. And boom, you have $1 million VSL. What's another place? Sabri Subi has an amazing, I think it's an hour and a half long VSL on his website where he sells his coaching
for Sell Like Crazy?
No, Sell Like Crazy is like a very short, I wouldn't even call it a VSL, just a very short sales video. I think it's 5 minutes, but because it's free, right? You don't need to sell something that's free, right?
It's like 12 minutes and it probably costs a couple $100,000 to create. I mean, it's for his book. Dude, it was that one. Yeah, I think it's new. It was like, I mean, there's so many locations he shoots on and stuff. I mean, obviously he has like a.
I saw that one. Yes. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yes. I have not seen the one for his offer though.
Yeah, it's an hour-long VSL. If you guys want to find that offer, I believe you can find it subscribing to his email list, and then he's probably going to send you this link in a couple of days because
is it high end? Is it high ticket?
Crazy. Yeah, it's like. So there's two services. There's the Done For You service, which is, I didn't go through his sales call, so I don't know the price. But his course, I think, is like $3,000, something like that. And he sells it, but he only sells it to you going through a call. And so he has this 1 hour. Yeah. Peter Kell does the same thing. Yeah. So you can do this VSL. Doesn't need to be just for buy now. It can be for book a call as well. In fact, this is something that I'm writing a new VSL on to test running. And Dan, I would love your help on this. Running my current course instead of $97 for like, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, and then give them more stuff like done with you service, stuff like that I know you, Dan Henry, know a lot of. And I want to make it like an hour VSL to a book a call to sell this thing and rip on Facebook ads with this thing. That's my goal for the next couple of months.
You mean go direct to the high ticket?
Yeah, direct to the high ticket. I've never done direct response marketing for high ticket, only for low ticket offers.
Yeah.
So that's something that I want to do.
So we just did this for our software. I sold 2 today. So I was on a group call before this. I did $24,000 in sales on one little group, and I had 3 people on. And the VSL I'm about to show you, that was with no VSL even. The VSL I'm about to show you. I showed a section of the VSL on the group sales call, but other than that, we just set appointments to it. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And last resource, just to end things up here so we can take a look at his VSL, is Mind Valley VSL. You guys have to watch this VSL. It's the one you guys probably saw it because they spend millions and millions of dollars a month on ads to this VSL. Just search Mind Valley VSL or search them up on Facebook ad library or YouTube ad library, and you'll find their VSL. It's amazing. And so you can use that as well as a resource. So take the action steps are going to be create your mechanism, create your irresistible offer, and then pick a VSL on ClickBank or Sabri Subi or Mind Valley to have the structure of the VSL and just plug in your stuff. And there it is. Boom. You're now a millionaire, guys. Inshallah.
All right. Wow. That was freaking incredible. That was amazing. Dude, I got to go back. How many of you guys are going to go back and watch that like 3 or 4 times?
Appreciate it.
Dude, that was incredible. All right. Awesome. Would you have some time to go over my VSL?
Yes, sir.
Marcel. All right. So
I have like I have like more than an hour. I'm
Okay,
super
I'll go
good
right
because
to
I took the
3.
whole day for this, but I know you have another thing coming
Yeah,
up.
and you know what? If you guys want to stay on after he looks at mine and ask questions, maybe we can do that. But I have to go and do a well, actually, can I do that? Oh yeah, I use Riverside for my YouTube channel, so I can do that. So all right, let me show you my VSL.
Mhm.
I only used a section of this today in my group sales call, and we sold 2 deals. So I mean, I know at least that little section works. But I think it could be a lot better. And
Mhm.
so I just before I show you this, I want to keep in mind that this is not polished. This is literally draft. Okay, so these are all the slides. And again, it's like, just a couple things at a time. How about I just run through it real fast and then you can just tell me what I did right and what I did wrong? Does that sound good?
Um, yeah, give me some context before.
Yes.
What do you want to do? What's your objective with that PSL? What do you want to do with it? Do you want to run ads directly to it
Run ads
and
directly
then
to
go
it.
to a book a call
Go
or go
right
to
to a book a
just
call.
straight to purchase?
Yeah. So it's add VSL and then it's book a call, but the calls are every day at the same time. And until I train a new sales rep for this, we're doing the group sales call model. So it's every day at 1. And when they come on, I'm here. I do I welcome everybody. I do a little presentation. It's like 10 minutes, not even. And then I just answer questions and overcome objections and close the deal. So
Cool.
I had 3 people on today. Sold 2. The third guy popped off, but he was also from like Tajikistan or something. I don't think he was qualified because
Yeah.
I think I don't think he had the money because he was I could be wrong, but he was it didn't seem like he was like a
Yeah.
active business
I
owner.
got it.
So
Yeah, I got it.
um
Okay, so first of all, let's go with the first slide, which is just to give you guys a context. The first minutes, like the first 1 to 5 minutes of the VSL, is called a lead. Okay, just so everybody gets familiar with the words that I'm going to use. Okay, and so the lead is probably where I'm going to focus most of my time on, Dan, because it's the most important thing in the VSL to get them hooked to watch the middle of the VSL where you're going to explain the story and how you figured out this new thing and then present the mechanism of the solution and then present your offer.
yeah.
And so the first thing, if you want to go really persuasive with this thing, I would change on that first slide right there is how did this business owner land 70 clients using this new and slightly weird follow-up
Mm.
system that create more curiosity, because that just says, that's not bad. Okay, I just want to say that is not bad. I'm not roasting you. That's not bad. But to make it even more persuasive and to make people want to watch it, you have to open a loop, and that doesn't open a loop. You're not opening something
So for
to.
context, this slide only appears for a second. It goes like this. It goes, how did this business owner land 70 clients and this one landed 0 clients with the very same leads? So that was supposed to be that original hook. And
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, and then the next slide, which actually
And so add at the end of that one with the very same leads using this new and weird thing,
yeah. So I put one simple trick because like I'm kind of using that as a placeholder until I determine the name of it. But also I
Yeah.
feel I saw Peter just say one simple trick. So maybe it's good enough.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'm like this at the beginning. I'm like bam, bam, bam. Like I'm like super fast. So
Yeah.
this was here. All these slides are like half a second. Most of them are half a second
Yeah.
for context.
Yeah. And another thing, guys, for everybody watching, just for you guys to keep in mind as well, since this is going to be, that's why I asked Dan for the context prior to analyzing the copy, because since this is going to be a high ticket thing, you don't need to be super convincing and persuasive to sell the high ticket thing, because chances are you're going to spend way less on ads than you're going to to acquire a client than the revenue that you're going to make. And so these super hypey and aggressive offers, we use to sell things without even needing a call. Just purchase right then and there, super urgent, super scarcity, and it's usually up to like $200, $300, even $500. But above like $1,000, I say that I think it would be better to have a book a call funnel. And so you don't need to be super hypey, like I'm saying, use this one simple trick and with this weird thing that I discovered. You don't need to be super like that, because the funnel is quote unquote, it's not easier, but you get what I mean, right? You spend less on ads to make the sale. And so so how did this business owner land 70 clients?
Let me, because it's so quick, let me see if I can just run it. I don't even think it's that long. Let me run through it and then you tell me.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And if you want to just note down where or whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, okay. How did this business owner land 70 clients and this one landed 0 clients with the very same leads using this one simple trick? I'll tell you in just a moment and how you can replicate it for yourself. But first, my name is Dan Henry. I'm the founder of GetClients.com, and I'm about to show you one simple trick that can skyrocket your business immediately. This trick let me do really cool stuff like go on amazing vacations and get asked to flap my gums in front of thousands of people. And the reason I'm making this video is I want to show you one simple trick I discovered that can get you double, triple, or quadruple, or even 10x the clients you are getting from your existing leads and show you how to get more leads at will. Before we go any further, let's address the elephant in the room. If you're like most of my clients and you've probably heard all these promises before and you've tried all these so-called solutions, stay with me because I'm about to show you how this one simple trick made me over $30 million. And before that, I was a broke pizza boy selling water bottles on the side of the road to pay my rent. It has nothing to do with Facebook ads, SEO, cold calling, VSLs, or YouTube. If those things were all you needed to grow your business, then why are so many businesses broke? Instead, it has everything to do with a classic but forgotten method that grew businesses like wildfire over 100 years ago, before the internet even existed. In fact, these business owners that are now dead had a fully booked sales calendar while you struggle to fill yours in today's modern world. Once you find out what it is, you will finally be able to fully book your sales calendar so much that it will be bursting at the seams. You'll be able to secure sales calls with new people that reach out immediately. You'll be able to finally get a return on those pesky ads and maybe even take that amazing vacation you've been promising your wife but can't yet afford. By the way, I don't have all the images in yet. I haven't done all the images.
No problem.
Not only that, but you'll be able to finally walk into a room and have everyone ask, how did they do it? There's nothing better than being admired for what you've accomplished. It's an amazing feeling, and by the end of this video, you will be one giant leap closer to it. But first, let me properly introduce myself. My name is Dan Henry, and this is a local bar and restaurant I bought 10 years ago, which I haven't put the picture in yet. When I discovered this one simple trick, the bar was a drug haven, needles laying all over the floor, and bartenders offering extras behind the dumpster. It was a mess. Plus, it was not even on a main road and the business was effectively dead. I bought it, used this one simple trick, and turned it into a thriving establishment. There's a picture of it when I had it popping. Then I sold it because all the Baileys was making me fat. That's true. I took this one simple trick and built a marketing agency that sold $11 million in real estate. There's an image there from an article about that, for a condo in Houston on just $10,000 in advertising costs. I'll share this one simple trick in just a moment, but know it works for local service-based businesses and online businesses like consultants and coaches. After building a company after company and crushing it with this one simple trick, I started GetClients.com and helped other business owners use this one simple trick. Get Clients has generated over $30 million in clients using, you guessed it, one simple trick. I also shared this one simple trick with hundreds of my clients and it worked for them too. So get ready to learn the secret. So here's the real problem why you aren't getting as many clients as you'd like. Sorry, that was okay. Imagine your business like a leaky bucket. You spend money on advertising, pouring leads into the bucket. And so here's your bucket: paid ads, direct marketing, social, whatever you're spending on, money's going in the bucket, but it's leaking out. For instance, if you don't get back to your leads within 5 minutes, that's a huge leak. Businesses that get back to their leads within 5 minutes get 80% of the sales in their given industry. That is a fact. No consistent email and SMS marketing to generate appointments. That's another huge leak in your bucket. Not confirming and rescheduling calls. Huge leak in your bucket. Not having at least 15 follow-ups. huge leak in your bucket. Why? Because the average sale is made on the 8th follow-up. This means that all the money you're pouring into ads is leaking out of your bucket, and all your potential sales are laying there on the floor in the sale graveyard where you can never bring them back to life. So no matter how much you spend on ads, you can't make money. And you think you are attracting the wrong leads. And sure, a portion of your leads probably suck, but the real reason is the best leads want to buy now. You know how everyone's got their phone in their hands all the time? Well, today they expect instant answers. The people with the most money have the least amount of time. And if you don't respond quickly, they're gone. So, so if you have leaks in your bucket, all you're left with is bad leads in your bucket, making you think your advertising is broken, when in reality, your bucket is broken. If you fix the holes in your bucket, then your bucket fills up and overflows with sales. And that means you can spend more on advertising, which means that you can get way more sales because now you're making more from the advertising you're already spending, and you're able to spend more and make more sales. There are over 24 points of failure in your bucket. These slides are out of order, but here are the 3 major points of failure. Slowpoke syndrome, not getting back to leads within minutes. Leaky calendar syndrome, not rescheduling calls that don't show. And the follow-up fumble, not following up during the hot, cold cycle. These are out of order. I've screwed that up. But so how do you patch the holes? With this one simple trick, here it is. The 3x3 method. Here's how it works. My buddy Andy sells leads to lawyers. One day he sells a pack of 300 leads to the same leads to 2 lawyers. The first lawyer calls Andy up pissed off. He tells Andy he didn't get a single client from 300 leads. So Andy, totally bewildered, calls up the second lawyer and asks him how many clients he got. The second lawyer got 70 clients. That's 70 times more than the first lawyer, same leads. So Andy asks the second lawyer how he did it, but the second lawyer didn't have an explanation. In fact, he was totally confused how the first lawyer didn't get the very same results. So he asks Andy, how many times did he call the leads? So Andy calls up the first lawyer and finds out. He called each lead once. Andy calls the second lawyer back, and the second lawyer bursts out laughing. Well, that's why he didn't get any clients. No one ever answers on the first call. Well, how many times do you call them? We use the 3x3 method. What's the 3x3 method? Every day we call them, text them, and email them for 3 days straight. That's the 3x3 method. And just like that, 70 times more sales from only 3 days of follow-up. Now, the 3x3 method is great, but it's not as good as this next thing. In fact, the next thing doesn't even require humans and outperforms the 3x3 method by over 400%. I'll tell you what that next thing is in a short second. But first, you have to know the 3 biggest failure points. That was where I was supposed to put the 3 biggest failure points. I just messed up the slide order. And the reason for these points is most business owners don't understand the hot, cold, hot principle. Every lead is hot when they first become a lead, then becomes cold, then hot, then cold, then hot. And this is because humans are impulsive by nature. This means they first think about buying before they are really serious. Then something else in life happens and they forget about it. Then something reminds them of it, and now they are hot again. People do this with boats, cars, houses, consulting, heck, even a prostate exam. And this cycle continues until they finally become serious. And now they become the easiest sale in the world to the closest option. For example, one time I wanted to buy a boat at a Yamaha AR-195. I filled out a form on a website to have someone call me. I was interested, but the next day my wife told me she wanted a new couch. So now the focus became going to 100 stores and watching her decide on the next couch, which was about a 3-week process. Meanwhile, the water heater broke. So you can imagine a lot was going on. About 45 days later, we had a new couch, we fixed the water heater, and I was exhausted. I needed some R&R. So I have a barbecue with my buds, and it was one of the best days I had in a long time. My bud says, "Hey man, when are we going to go out on that boat you're getting?" Instantly, I envisioned all of us out on the boat, tubing, celebrating life just like that. And that could have been that weekend. I was hot again. There was only one problem. I couldn't remember who I spoke to 45 days ago. They called me back once, but that was it. No emails, no text, nada. But I was ready to buy. In fact, I wanted to take my buds out the very next weekend. Hell, I deserved it. So I Googled boats, called up a dealer, not the same one because I couldn't remember, and they made the easiest sale of their life. And I had my boat. That's where a picture of the boat goes. Now imagine if the original company I reached out to had followed up, they would have got the sale because they would have been the closest option. And if you are constantly following up, you'll be the closest option when they're ready to buy. And if there's always something reminding them, they buy a lot faster. So it's almost time to tell you what the next thing is, but we have to answer one burning question first. While this may seem obvious and simple, I'll tell you why most business owners can't use this method and why they generally don't follow up as much as they should. And we all know that 70% of sales come from the follow-up, and the average sale is made on the 8th follow-up. And business owners that get back to customers within 5 minutes get 80% of sales. These are the real stats, and if you didn't know them, you know them now. Here's the real problem. Your sales calendar isn't full. You don't have enough clients. You spend money on advertising and it goes to waste. And this sucks because you look like a tool to your family, friends, and everyone that you told, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it, but you aren't making it. What's worse is that gnawing feeling that because your business is not as stable as you'd like, at any moment, it could all crumble. Now, I could tell you the real problem is you aren't working your leads. You aren't following up. You aren't getting back to new leads fast enough. And let's face it, you aren't, but that's not the root problem. You don't have time. That's the root problem. The world is a chaotic mess today. 10,000 notifications on your phone. The kid gets sick, the dog craps on the floor, then you hire someone to do it. And their kid gets sick, and their dog craps on the floor, and the leads don't get worked. Prime example, we had a client who asked to cancel. So I asked her what's wrong. She said she didn't have enough leads. And she spent all her money on advertising and had only $10 left. I asked her if she was following up. She admitted she hadn't. So I showed her just one follow-up method, and she made a $3,000 sale within 30 minutes. But I knew she had 8 kids, and I knew that even though I fed her a fish for the day, she didn't have time to fish on her own. And that's when I knew the only way to really help our clients was to do it for them. So we created a software called Deal Engine. Deal Engine uses AI. That shouldn't say also. Deal Engine uses AI to get back to every single new lead within seconds and book the people already ready to go straight onto your sales calendar. See the following conversation? Yeah, that's AI. Could a human appointment setter do better? Yes, 100%. I'm the first to admit that. But did you know that a lead contacted within the first 5 minutes is over 20 times more likely to convert? Deal Engine gets back to them within 5 seconds. A human can't get back to every single lead within 5 seconds every single time. So Deal Engine will pick up the low-hanging fruit and work the rest of the leads to get the customer to respond. This is a single post I recently made on Instagram. This was how many appointments we booked without the involvement of a human being. All of these, and this is true, by the way, this was yesterday. All of these appointments were booked for the entire week with one single post and our AI appointment setter, no humans needed. Deal Engine also uses automation to work leads for a year straight through SMS and email marketing, all completely automated. Caitlin uploaded her existing leads into Deal Engine and booked 3 sales appointments on the very first day. And then, and she wasn't even using the AI feature yet. And then there's like a 10-second clip of Caitlin saying that, that I'm going to put here.
Love it.
When you have a Deal Engine, your calendar will fill up. You'll finally be able to get a return out of those pesky ads. Here's how having a Deal Engine will grow your business. With a Deal Engine, you can follow up with new leads within seconds and keep following up for a whole year on autopilot. No more missed opportunities, no more leads slipping through the cracks. You get a lead and bam, it's followed up in seconds. Imagine a calendar so packed that it's a business equivalent of back-to-back Beyonce concerts. In today's hyper-competitive market, time is money and every lead is a potential gold mine. Deal Engine is there 24/7, 365, ensuring no lead escapes your mighty grip. Tired of seeing your hard-earned money go down the drain on leads that never turn into sales? Not all of us have the memory of an elephant. Deal Engine remembers everything, ensuring no lead is left behind. Deal Engine comes with a built-in sales calendar, pipeline scheduling, and reminding you to follow up interactions. This ensures no lead falls through the cracks and every potential sale is nurtured to fruition. Deal Engine comes with every tool you need to market your business, like websites and funnels, email marketing, analytics for sales reps, setters, ad spend, show rate, close rate, invoicing, quotes and order processing, sales pipeline, course hosting and membership sites, affiliate and referral programs, mobile app, all conversations in one screen, like email, text, Facebook, and Instagram, and many more features. But here's the best part. What are the two biggest issues when using a marketing software? One, how do I set it up? Two, how do I find time to create the marketing to use it? With Deal Engine, we'll write a year's worth of email and SMS marketing, completely done for you by our copywriters. This includes a year of email and SMS follow-up for anyone that has a call and doesn't buy, that books a call and doesn't show. Plus, we'll even throw in a 10-day email sequence to book calls from cold leads. Not only that, but we will give you a fill-in-the-blank AI appointment setting bot. The bot will answer new leads within seconds, so no lead gets left behind. We'll set this up, ready to go, so you just log in and go. Plus, you'll have access to our Deal Engine support group and live Zoom support calls. Right now, you can schedule a live demo. Click the link to book a live group demo. We'll log into Deal Engine and show you exactly how it can grow your business, how our team will create all your follow-up marketing for an entire year, and how it can get you an immediate return. And don't worry, we have affordable pay plans. In fact, you are probably already spending the same amount on all the tools you currently use when you could use one tool. And if you refer just 3 people to Deal Engine, it becomes essentially free because we pay a sweet referral program. For every referral after that, we're paying you each month, but we only allow users to be in our referral program, and many users are making thousands per month. So click the link to book your 100% free demo, and then I give them the link. The end could be cleaned up because I didn't really go through that, but that's the VSL. So it's okay. Tear me apart.
Awesome. No, it's very good, man. It's very good. I just finishing up some notes here. How long do you have left?
I can do. I wish I had longer, but let me do this. Let me tell them I got a call at 3, but I'm gonna tell them to push it back 20 minutes. So I have like let's just say 15 minutes.
Okay.
One second.
So
hold on. One second.
Okay.
I can't talk today. I'm completely slammed. Just pretend I'm not around till tomorrow. Period. Can you push back my 3 p.m. by 20 minutes? ? Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
So I just did a stopwatch real quick. It's about 14 minutes.
Okay.
But you were reading it super quickly, and so you're probably, so it's probably going to be about 20, 25 minutes or so, which is not bad. But I do have some things that I wrote down here. You don't have a name for the mechanism, right? You don't have a name for the follow-up thing.
Well, so I did the whole, the classic lead, this thing is amazing, but it's not good as this next thing. It's a supplement lead, like eating bananas every day is amazing, but it's not good as this next thing. And then later they introduced the supplement. So what I was trying to do was say like the 3x3 method, but like that was the, it's
you have the 3x3 method. That's right.
I was basically, but you're right. There is no clear defined mechanism. I've always struggled with that. I really have. And yet I've still been able to make millions of dollars, but I've always struggled, not so much with somebody else's offer, but with my own offer. I draw a blank. So
awesome. So this is amazing for you guys to see, for you guys watching that, like even Dan struggles with this. I struggle with this. I mean, I'm not perfect. And so if we struggle with this and we're still millionaires and make millions of dollars, imagine if you can just do this like 50%, 80% correctly. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect, right?
And just to answer the questions in the comments, I did not use any for things. I create a slide, I type, I create a slide, I type, I create a slide. Well, I'll map it out in Google Docs and then I'll paste it in, but then I'll add. So I didn't use the software for this. I do it the old school way.
So I'm going to first talk about the mechanism and then we'll go to the offer, right? So what I was searching for while you were speaking and doing the whole thing was for Cub, right? Which is confusing, unbelievable, and boring. And so there was a few parts that were a little bit confusing. Like I didn't like the 24 points of failure. I think that's too much it's too overwhelming. Like, oh my God, I need 24 things. But if you say like, no, you had most of it right, just this one thing is what's missing, then, oh, okay, so I'm not a complete idiot, right? I also didn't like, I think it was in the beginning from my notes here. You said, can you go through the slides in the beginning real quick? You said something like you're failing to do this, this, and that. Shoot, skyrocket trick. Discover. You are getting. Can you go back? No, you are getting from. Anyways, it's something that you said that they are failing in some way. And I also didn't like that because people don't like to be called pieces of shit. But if
Well, that's
you
my whole brand, though.
yeah, but you can just add a word and change the whole meaning, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm not a piece of shit. You can say you might be going through this, but if you say
you
so, you're going
about...
through this, and you're a piece of shit. But you say you might be a piece of shit, then okay, I might. I'm not a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you talking about
the
hold on,
I should have put the number of the slide here, but
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's where you get to the pain point, right?
Well, but Sabby, I can't ever say his name. He's super like, your ads suck, you suck, everything sucks.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Which I've always resonated with that, because I hate it when people are like, you can do it. I'm like, shut up, just tell me I suck and tell me why I suck. But
I mean,
but yeah, I'm trying to find the. Are you talking about this part?
And you think you're trying? No. But anyways, let's go through the whole annotations that I have here, so we don't spend too much time on this. One thing, things that I liked that you said you were hammering on the one simple trick. Once you have the mechanism name, you can hammer on the mechanism name as well. In fact, this is something that I'm going to test on my next VSL. A friend of mine that does $1.5 million a month with his real estate VSL. He says the name of the mechanism on the first slide to generate curiosity right off the bat, right? And so that's something that I'm going to test, and something that this guy does as well, which is another thing that I'm going to test too, and I think you should do as well, is he has so much social proof that at the end you're like completely convinced. And so every like 5 slides, he's like Dan did with his business, where he went from
we just don't have that many users yet, so I just don't have that yet.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, I could take other results from my coaching and put it in there, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, so technically, I do tell them to follow.
The bottom line is, I wasn't completely convinced from this short presentation that my problem is the follow-up. Remember that we need to make them believe that the one thing that's missing is your thing. And it's not bad. I like it, and it'll probably work, but I'm not completely convinced that it's the follow-up is my problem. I mean, I'm a marketer, so I know that's And so,
but that is the problem.
Point.
Most people don't think that.
100%. But we know what the problem is. But if we don't convince them, they're not going to buy. And so you need to convince them more using statistics. I didn't see statistics. I didn't see studies. I didn't see, you showing your own experience.
So remember I said, when I mentioned those stats, I'm going to put in screenshots of of that. I just haven't put them in yet. I was just getting the text.
Studies are very good. Studies are very good. There was a study that Walmart did and they discovered that for every second that your website takes to load extra, your conversion rate decreases by 70%. Oh. It's ridiculous. And so sharing these studies gives way more credibility to what you're saying. It's not that it's bad. Again, I'm not roasting you. It's not bad. It is good, and it's probably going to work.
You can.
And I like that you said the real reason for the thing is this. That's the mechanism for you guys wondering, when he said the real reason that you haven't been able to fill up your calls is because of the follow-up.
Well, no. Okay, so maybe I got confusing in here. I think this was confusing. So the real root problem here is that you don't have time to create follow-up. You don't have time to follow up. It's not that you don't follow up. You aren't following up, but you can't follow up. In the 1970s, you could follow up because the average CEO got like.
And if I'm not mistaken, there was a business. There was a huge business that tested that, and they figured out that if you follow up within 5 minutes, your conversions increase like 200 and something percent. So you can even use that study.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pop. Yeah, where I mentioned that, I am gonna pop the study, and I just haven't done it yet. But what I'm trying to get them to understand is that because if you tell a business owner, especially coaches, no offense, everybody here, but y'all are the worst offenders. Coaches do this thing. They spend money on ads. They do not work their leads. And then they go, oh my God, I have the wrong leads. Oh my God, my business sucks. And let me go buy another coaching program because I clearly don't know. But the fact of the matter is, if you just followed up, you would make so much more money. Like I tell people, I'm like, I sell the same crap you sell. I sell how to do courses, how to get clients, the same shit, but I follow up. And so that's why I make more money, but they don't want to hear that because that would make them feel like they were doing something wrong. So I guess as I'm working through it in my head, because nobody likes to, like, you're not following up. Yeah, I've heard that before, but give me a different solution. So what I was trying to say was, look, the reason you don't follow up is because in today's world, in 2023, it's impossible to follow up because there's too much going on. There's too much happening in the world. There's notification. It's just too hard. In the set, your parents and your grandparents could follow up because life was simple back then. Life is no longer simple. So the real mechanism here is, I guess, is AI. That whole thing I just said was way convoluted in the presentation. Yeah.
So you see how long it took you to explain to me your mechanism?
Mm-hmm.
That's already not good, right? Jason Capital says that you should be able to explain your mechanism in a simple sentence.
Okay.
Right? So this is why you haven't been getting the results you want, and this is how to fix it. Like a simple sentence.
The reason you haven't been getting the result you want is because you're trying to follow up with your leads manually when you should be using AI so that everybody gets instantly followed up with, or
it's something along those lines, but that's already confusing as well. Like, I'm gonna have to use AI. What does that mean? Like, how am I gonna do this? Like that's already confusing in of itself, right? I don't know. So the reason why you haven't been able to fill up your calendars yet is because I super like that customer journey explanation. I super love that.
The hot, cold, cold.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. The one that I was going to buy a boat, but then I completely forgot. And to add on top of that, you can to make it even more. Remember, we're trying to convince them that your thing is the thing that was missing for them. And so if you can get them to resonate with it, it's even better. So if you can say, did this ever happen to you? Like, you were going to buy something, but then your spouse was like, hey, change the baby's diapers. And you was like, oh yeah. And then you completely forgot something. And they was like, oh yeah, I wanted to buy that thing 2 weeks later. Did that ever happen to you? And then in their mind, they're thinking, yeah, that happened to me. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And so you're giving them positive, feedback in their head so that at the end, they're completely convinced that this customer journey thing that you did, like the closest option thing that you said, I love that closest option thing. They're going to buy from the closest option. And guess what's going to happen?
Thought that was good?
If
really?
you're
I
not,
thought that was weak, but you thought that was good?
Yeah, I like that because they're going to buy. They're going to buy from the closest option. And so if you're the closest option, guess what? They're going to buy from you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, guys, I want to say this. This is super important. Everything that we're talking about, me and Dan are discussing here, I could be completely wrong in everything that I'm saying, and Dan's VSL could do way better than if I were to modify his. In marketing, we never know what's going to work unless we test it. And so the only thing that I am doing is giving him, it's not, I wouldn't say tips because it's not, I'm just based on my experience, this is what I would do. But keep in mind, I could be completely wrong. Sometimes we test things that was like, no, that's never going to work. And it completely works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so.
No, I agree with you. And I think, see, if it was a webinar, it would probably be more effective because you have time to flesh this all out. But a VSL is different. You have to get them right away because there's nothing keeping them there. They can just click out. In a webinar, they're in a Zoom room, they're kind of committed. So this is great feedback.
Yeah, and I also think to keep it more hypnotizing and to keep them more watching until the end, you need to add more open loops, and you can do that at the on the lead. Remember, guys, the lead is the first minutes of the VSL. Adding some fascination bullets. Stephen Georgi calls them fascination bullets. So right in the beginning, you're going to be like, so pay attention to this presentation where I'm going to teach you how you can do this thing, plus a new weird discovery that you can revive old clients or old leads that never responded to you and make them instantly hungry to buy your thing. Plus, I'm also going to share with you this new secret that I learned from a guy in Hong Kong called whatever. And so you're adding a bunch of things that they're going to be like, holy shit, I need to watch this thing until the end.
It's always some Asian guy.
Yeah, and you're only going to give those things right at the very end when you've got them where you want it. And you also need to hammer down more. I like that you say the one simple trick, but you need to use NLP more to your favor. You need to say more. So pay attention now. And in the next few moments, I'm going to share with you, you need to use that. I see that you use it a couple times and that's awesome, but put that more.
Okay.
Like pay attention because in the next few seconds, I'm about to reveal this thing to you. And it's not going to be the next few seconds, it's maybe the next 25 minutes.
Peter Cal goes, ears out, eyes open, and pay attention. He does that one.
Yeah. I love that. And so
what do you see as the mechanism being in this?
The follow-up thing. The follow-up thing. Yeah, because the follow-up thing is very cool because I remember that study, but I don't remember who did it, like what were the actual numbers. But I remember hearing this study. If you answer a lead in up to 5 minutes, your conversion rate goes like I don't remember, it's like 200 and something % increase conversion. It is ridiculous. But you just need to convince them that that's the case.
That's
the hard part.
To give you a little background on this offer, kind of got flipped upside down. The original offer was we have our CRM, and the original offer was like, look, I've coached people for years, right? And I've learned one thing: people don't do shit. Like people will pay me $50,000 to get coached. I'll tell them what to do and they won't fucking do it. They just won't do it because they get distracted. They don't have time. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't want to have a done for you marketing agency. I've done that before. That sucks. So I thought, okay, I'll have this CRM. I'll write all their market. We'll have my team write all their marketing, write all their emails, set the system up. So all they got to do is put leads in it and it follows up like as if we created it, which, well, we did, and they just promote and it does it, right? And so that was the original idea. It had nothing to do with AI. It was just, we're going to build out your whole marketing system and hand it to you on a silver platter. And now it'll follow up and it'll increase your conversion, because it doesn't matter what I teach you about follow-up, what I teach you about email marketing, what I teach you about any of this, you're not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. Like I've had maybe 1% of my clients actually do it. And most just go, oh, that's inspiring. And then they move on, right? Or they do one thing and they make a lot of money, but they don't make a lot of money, right? And so that was the original thing. Well, then I was messing around with this ChatGPT integration thing one day, and I tested it and it booked a ton of calls for us. And I was like, whoa, I was like, no way. And then I just did it yesterday and we're up to 22 calls booked. I haven't talked to anybody. I've made a post on my Instagram. They're like, look at this. See this right here?
It's amazing.
These notifications, I'm getting booked call after book call. Like, whoop, this is all book call. Like, because I took my custom, like I know how to set calls from text and social. Like I know how to do that. I have a script that I've used for years. We've made millions of dollars with it. So I programmed AI to use my script and I just post and the AI takes over and it books those calls like wildfire. So when I did that, I was like, oh, I should put this in the offer. Like all we do is they fill out an onboarding form. We adjust the bot per their offer, put it in their account. They just do the same thing and it books calls, right? So now it's like, well, wait a minute. That's a way sexier, way juicier thing than you're not going to follow up. So we'll do it for you. We'll write all your marketing. That's way sexier. So that's kind of why, like, it kind of got flipped upside down, because now that we're able to offer that to our clients, I've now been like, well, that should be more towards the main point, the main mechanism. But then like all the follow-up is kind of like part of the offer and like a perk. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the thing we need to do is either use Jason's or Stephen Georgi's framework, like the fact thesis mechanism, and I think that way we can figure out easier the what could be the mechanism to hammer it home and make people be like, oh, that's what I need now. So that's a no-brainer for me, right? Like when I watched Sabri Subi's VSL till the end,
This
I
is
was like,
good.
very good. I'm not talking about the 12-minute one. I'm talking about the hour-long one where he goes to the book of call. When I watched the whole thing, I was convinced that I needed to do high-ticket sales and that was the solution. And so you guys can imagine how powerful this thing is, because even guys like me and Dan, who are experienced marketers, we I was going to say fall for this stuff, but it's not falling because it's not disingenuous. It's we are persuaded by this stuff, right? Because it's super powerful.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super powerful. And
So
so we need to figure out this one thing that's going to be the thing that's going to be that they're going to be like, oh, so that's what was missing.
and
That's
you
how I'm
know,
going to.
when it's funny, when you figure out the one thing, all the other parts of the VSL become effortless because
Yeah.
you just know what to say.
Yeah.
Do you
Do you find that a big problem?
Follow up, right? Or is it AI?
So yeah, I'm trying to think here. Do you find that the one of the biggest problems and pain points for coaching people is plateau? They're selling, but they've hit like a $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month plateau, and they can't go above that.
No,
maybe
it's
that can
because
be
I
some
don't
of
want to
the
just
thing.
sell this to coaches. I want to sell it to real estate agents. I want to sell it to plumbers. I want to sell it to everybody, right? Because if you sell over the phone to grow your business, this can work for you.
Yeah, because I'm thinking here, just to get you through my thought process, I'm thinking like, so the real reason why your business has plateaued, it can be real estate, it can be plumber, it could be anything. The real reason why your business has plateaued and you haven't been able to get to the goal that you wanted to get to, I don't know, $100,000 a month, $500,000 a month, or something like that, or $50,000 a month. The real reason is because you're a human being and you can't humanly follow up with every single person that is a lead. And so you can hire a bunch of people to do that for you, but how much are you going to spend on hiring a bunch of people to speak to the leads and whatever? And what I tried was I figured out this thing called Chat GPT or AI, or you don't say the name because then they're going to Google it, right? Put a new name on it. So I figured out this thing called lead.
So look at Taha in the chat. She goes, fact, 90% of sales come after the 8th follow-up, Walmart study, etc. Thesis, 90% of the time as a business owner, you're far too busy and your employees are far too lazy or too expensive, I guess. And so no one follows up, missing out on 90% of sales. The mechanism is AI follow-up.
Yeah, that's a start. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, but I like what you said about how much would it cost to hire all these. So, okay. So now that you know that if you get back to them immediately, you make a ton more sales, how much would it cost to hire all these humans to do that? It would cost all this money.
Yeah.
But what if you didn't have to?
You can even illustrate it when you start drawing on your iPad, which is super cool. You can even illustrate it like, okay, so you're at X amount, $10,000 a month, and you want to get to $100,000. What do you need to get there? You need more leads, right? And then you're like, so this is the amount of leads that you're going to get, but oh wait, you need to follow up with these leads, you need to call these leads, you need to do everything with these leads, but you're just one person. How much, like, you can't humanly speak to all these people. And so that's the real reason why you haven't been able to grow your business. But if you use the robotic follow-up system, whatever, I've programmed, me and my team of developers, I've spent $100,000 in development to program in artificial intelligence to respond to your leads for you. And this has been blowing up like wildfire, like Marcel from Brazil, who implemented this in his business and grew whatever, and like Karen from whatever that grew, you know what I mean? I mean, we're just brainstorming here, right? We're just throwing out ideas and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, but once you get that, once you convince them, that's why I told you that I wasn't completely convinced that that is the thing. It's and not that it's not that's not the thing, but we need to convince them more. Right.
So do you think the whole concept of it's about so the real thing to convince them of is if they get back to their leads right away, that's where the money's at, but they can't do that because they can't hire that many people. So what's the real, or what's the other option?
You have to hire people, you have to then train them, right? You need to keep them motivated, you need to pay them salaries, like how much are you going to spend? Yeah, that can be one angle, one mechanism that you could try, but definitely you can try, different mechanisms as well.
But to go deeper on that, and this is not copy, this is the real thing, is if you just use AI, if you just use ChatGPT, it sucks. We don't use ChatGPT. It's powered by ChatGPT. So we take my custom sales frameworks and call setting and qualification frameworks, and we put them in, we use ChatGPT to replicate that. So if you just use AI this is why, like, when people write copy and stuff with AI, it sucks because they're just asking AI to write it. What I do is I give it a 15-page prompt on how to write copy or how to sell or whatever based on what I know. And I just say, do this. So what it's doing is it's taking my brain and just thinking exactly how I would think, but faster. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's something to mention.
You just gave me an amazing idea, bro. You can ask AI to give you mechanism ideas. You can just ask, like, you can say, like, are you familiar with John Benson of Stephen George VSL's copywriting?
Yep.
Yes,
what would
I'm
be
familiar.
The mechanism for
okay,
this?
what would be? Are you familiar with unique mechanism? Yeah, I'm familiar with unique mechanism. It's this, and that. Okay, help me build a unique mechanism for this.
Oh my God! Yes,
maybe
why
that's
didn't I think of that?
way better
of course.
Human brains trying to figure this out.
yes. Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Why didn't I think? And I've done that before for some things, and I did that for pain point. I do it for pain points a lot because I don't have the same pain points as most business owners. Like, I know you have to follow up. I know business is hard. I know that, I know these things. So I don't have things like imposter syndrome. So I have to use ChatGPT to be like, what is somebody with imposter syndrome feeling like? And they're like, they feel this, and that. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, okay. And I put it in my copy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's awesome.
So
it's awesome.
Okay.
So that's just the mechanism we're talking about. So that's the first part. And now I have some notes for the offer.
Okay.
Is it okay? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And so what I wrote down here for the offer is, first and foremost, there's no reason for, I mean, there isn't even an offer per se. You just tell them to book a call. You don't give any more information on, what is the actual thing. And so, first of all, there's no reason for the offer. Remember when I sold the banana for $1, then I had a reason for it being $1. Mm-hmm. So you can have a reason for, like, in my VSLs, I usually do, I want to help people to be able to make more money because I love getting, messages of people like, oh, you changed my life, whatever. And so I love getting those things. And that was what I used. And then I copied Jason Capital, which he does. I'm writing a new book and I want more success stories for the book. And then that worked as well. But now in this new VSL I'm writing, I'm going to change it to the one that the friend of mine that does, millions of dollars a month with his VSL. He says, he goes something like this. Now, let me explain to you why I'm going to offer you this for such a ridiculously low price today, despite us already agreeing that this could be worth tens of thousands of dollars for you or for your business. The reason why I'm offering you this, I'm not going to tell you a story that I'm on a mission, I want to help the little guy. No, actually, this is a selfish reason, because if you make money with this, I'm going to grow my business as well. And I have a goal to sell this software that I have to be able to retire and live on the Caribbean for $100 million. And to do that, I need to help a lot of people and grow this thing. And so this is a selfish reason for me, because if this works for you, I get to, grow my software, sell it for $100 million and exit, whatever. And so I'm going to try this on my next VSL. Like, I'm not on a mission to help a little guy. I'm not going to say that, whatever. This is a selfish reason, 100%. I'm just doing this because I want you to get results. That's why I'm going to sell you this software instead of for 10,000, which is what we normally charge. I'm going to sell it for you today for only 500, for only $1,000, something like that. Because if you get results, then I get more money as well. And so I like that. This is a selfish reason why. I love that.
Well, you suggest putting the price on there?
You can. You can.
I've never
do that.
liked doing that because I change prices a lot, and so
yeah.
I don't want to redo my stuff. But I've never
had, you don't have to.
Yeah, I've never had to say the price.
Put the price on that.
But what you're saying is, like, I like that. Like, and that's true. I want to.
Is it a high ticket thing?
Yeah, it's not super high ticket, but it's
how
actually
much does
way
it cost,
more.
The software.
It's 10 grand for the year, or $1,000 a month.
Yeah. So we pay,
but we pay $300 per referral. So if you refer 3 people, it's basically free.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, no reason for the offer. Then there's no bonuses. There's no.
It's definitely not that
scarcity.
Type of deal. Yeah, there's the bonus. It's not like it's not like that.
Yeah, but it's not a type of deal. Like, it's not like that. You can add bonuses to anything and make it better. For example, I think Sabri Subi says I think it was a solar panel company that they worked with, Sabri Subi's agency worked with. He went through this process of creating an irresistible offer for the solar company. And one of the things was, first of all, the guarantee, right? If you don't, if your electricity bill doesn't go to 0 in 12 months, you can keep the things for free. You can, we'll install it for free. You don't have to pay anything. And the bonuses that he gives was a 65-inch television. And so when you buy the solar system with us, which is, I don't know, like $50,000 to install, they'll spend $400 to buy a 65-inch and to give it as a bonus, But that bonus already increases the perceived value extremely, despite a 65-inch television being like $300.
What if I did this? What if I didn't mention the copywritten custom blah blah blah? If I just focused on the AI appointment setter, and then at the end I said, but if you book your call right now, we're going to throw in this very special bonus. We will write an entire.
Yeah, you can do that.
An entire year.
You can do a strategy session. Like, you get a 30-minute strategy session with this guy that did, I don't know, trained by me. You can give.
How about this? I didn't even mention this because I'm just so busy right now. But when you join, so it's like $1,000 a month, right? So I used to charge 55 grand a year for my mastermind, where all I did was a call a week and I just answered questions. So I'm doing that in our group. I'm like getting on multiple times a month right now, once a week. And I'm not only showing them how to use the software, but I'm answering questions about just growing your business. Like, it's like being in a Dan Henry mastermind. So
yeah,
it's like you get this like mastermind that I basically used to charge 55 grand for, thrown in for free just for being a user, because I want you to use it, because I want you to get results from it. I want you to grow your business. And so, you're basically getting that for free. And I'm willing to do that so that you grow, for the exact reason you mentioned. If you get results, other people buy, and etc. I don't want to do that. I'll probably do that for the first year. So I don't want that to be like because you know how people are. You offer them something and they're like, I expect this, even though I 10x my income. Dan said I get this extra
Yeah.
cheat sheet and I can't find it and I'm unhappy, even though he changed my life and my whole life is better. I'm pissed off
Yeah.
because I'm missing this
Exactly.
fucking cheat sheet. And it's like,
Yeah.
I just want to kill
Exactly.
myself, you know? So,
Yeah.
so I just
Exactly.
don't want to make that like a promise.
Yeah.
I'll
No
probably do
problem.
it
But
for like the
you do
first year.
need to have bonuses. It's going to increase exponentially the perceived value of your offer. And then we can get into, you know,
But do you think
types
I
of
should just
bonuses.
frame it like that in the VSL and say, plus you'll get all this, and every week I come on and I do a call and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, I mean, since you close that on the sale, then what you could do is use all this offer things that I'm saying, you know, the why, the pricing, the guarantee, the bonuses, the scarcity and urgency on the call, right? Because the objective of the sales call is to then sell. The objective of this VSL is not to sell. The objective of this VSL is to book a call, right? And so that's what we want them to do. So we need to create scarcity, urgency, and make them curious and make them want to book that call. And of course, filter them to not let people that don't even have a business book a call. And then on the sales call, then you use why I'm offering this for you guys for only $1,000. And this is a selfish
you're
reason,
saying don't
whatever.
put that in the video, because that's how I currently do it. I put all that on the second presentation that happens on the sales call. So you're okay. You weren't saying to put it on this.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a two-part VSL, if
it
you
is.
know what I mean. Because you have the first part, which is a book a call, and the next one, the sales call, which is the second half of the VSL.
Right. That way, if I ever decide to stop coming in and doing the weekly call, I would just not say that on the group sales call. So
yeah. And so you need to think of these bonuses. A good bonus is a future problem that they might have, or like there was a VSL that I wrote that a bonus was presuming already that they would make money. And so it was like, once you start using this system, you're going to make so much money, and I don't want you to lose it all. And so, like Mike Tyson made $500 million.
You give him a tax thing, right?
Yeah, no, like Mike Tyson did $500 million and lost it all, and it's a very common problem. And so, since this thing is so powerful, I'm also going to give you as a bonus how to invest your money so you don't lose it all, stuff like that. You know, so you're presuming, it's called future pacing. You're presuming that they're going to get results with that, and so it hammers more inside their brain, like, oh, this thing actually works. He's even going to teach me, you know, how to invest my money once I make it.
Okay, so, gotcha.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of different types of bonuses that you can get, like the solar system example. Like, it's nothing to do with solar, but you get a free 65-inch TV. You know what I mean?
Do you so other than me really defining the mechanism, which I knew was probably the main problem, do you see any other things that really stood out to you?
So the mechanism, more social proof, NLP, show studies and statistics. Oh, there's no story of discovery as well. There's no discovery story. Like, how did you discover this thing? Right? When you tell it in a story, when you tell it in story form, number one, it hypnotizes them more to watch the whole thing, because people love stories. When you say, let me share with you a story of how I discovered this thing, and keep in mind, this story is a little bit embarrassing. And so I almost thought of taking this out of the video, but I need to share with you this embarrassing moment that made me click and discover this new thing that completely changed my business and the business of countless other people. And then you get into the story. Man, when you say that, let me share with you a story, and it's quite embarrassing. People are like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Share the story.
Okay. It needs to be does it need to be self-deprecating?
It doesn't need to be your story. No, it doesn't need to be your story. I mean, Agora Financial did a story with.
So the story I tried to put in there, and I just didn't segue it good enough, was basically the idea, like, look, I've taught how to follow up, but my clients, nobody does it because they don't have time. That was the example of the woman that I literally got on and I was like, hey, do this follow up. And she made a $3,000 sale. but I knew that she wasn't going to do it after that. And she hasn't done it after that. Actually, that's probably a better pitch for Get Clients University is like, look, every month we're going to get on a call and I'm going to push you to get clients. That's actually probably be a better story for that. But for that one. But okay, so what I was trying to say there was I know how to do this, but I already know you're not going to do it. So we'll just do it for you and build the AI to do it. But what I could do, I could talk. So I'll give you an example. So this might actually be the best story. So I recently sold my company to my partner. I sold closedeals.com to my partner, Phil, because basically he wanted to focus on coaching and I wanted to focus on software. And we're very cool and all that. But, you know, when you have two partners and you want to focus on different things, it makes sense to go your separate ways. Right. So I wanted to focus on software. He wanted to focus on coaching. Great. However, in the deal that we made, he wanted to keep the sales team. So when I separated and I took my software back, I had no sales team. I don't have any. It's just me and I have my staff, but right now I have no setters. I have no salespeople. I have nothing. Right. So, and I can't just sit around for 3 weeks while I'm interviewing people. Like we got to make sales. Like, you know, I got to pay employees and stuff. So, I use the AI setter to book all these calls, and then I did these group calls. So I could maybe say like, you know, this thing happened. I had no staff. I didn't have time to hire staff.
That's cool. That's cool. I like it.
I took what I knew about setting calls and I put it. The timeline's a little fucked, but you know, because I had already made it. Oh, you know what I could say? I said I've been working on this theoretical thing.
Yeah.
Programming AI, but then this happened.
I was like, holy shit, now I have no salesman. I need to make this work now or I make no money. And so I got to this thing and then I started, you know, testing it out and boom, now I'm one person doing the work of 25 salesmen that I used to have. You know what I mean?
Well, should I mention that I do a group sales call or is that not really, that's probably too much information.
Yeah, you don't need to mention that. But I mean, the follow-up things is like hundreds of people's jobs that used to follow up. And now in AI does it for thousands of people infinitely.
Oh, that's the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I like that story. I like that. And you know, the best copies, if you look at ClickBank and you find the most selling copies, and Mind Valley, man, the Mind Valley copy is so good. The best copies is when you can weave the copy and the mechanism and the solution into the story as one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the best. Okay. Like you're telling the story and revealing the mechanism, the facts, the things, and then you get direct to the offer.
Yeah, because that's a real screenshot. I made one post and I tried my bot out and it just blew up. Like it blew up.
Love
like
it.
I think we're
Love
at like,
there's your story, man.
Dude, like, look, here's 2 more. Like, since we've been talking, I booked 2 more calls. Look, booked it. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I used to, you know, follow up with them one by one. And then I was like, damn, now I have no team to do this. And so I need to figure out this software thing. And so I built a software originally to use just for me, but it started working so good. My friends were asking for it. And so I let them use it. And it completely exploded their business as well. And then my friends were like, hey, Dan, you should sell this thing. And I was like, no, I don't want to make money off of people. You know, I just want to use it for myself and you guys, which are my friends. But then a bunch of strangers started asking for it. And I was like, okay, I think I can help a lot of people with this. And of course, they can't give it away for free as much as I would love to do that. But I do have, you know, hosting servers and stuff that I need to keep online. And so there was a guy that does a pitch like this. I'm just going to charge you for my server hosting fees. So that's just what I'm going to charge you. But it then was like $97, right? That's an expensive server, millions of dollars a month in sales.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I love it.
Should I make our copywriters will write all your stuff? Should I say that on the actual sales call or should I mention that in VSL?
That's, I think, for the sales call, which you will be which you will be presenting the actual offer, right?
That
This
does make, yeah, that
VSL
makes the whole VSL so much easier to, oh, wow. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
needed a second pair of eyes. I knew it. I knew that. I got it now. Okay.
Yeah, just like when you told me the thing, it's just, bro, just offer it on day one. I was like, what the fuck? That's super. Yeah. 100%, man.
Oh, dude, awesome. All right, I'm gonna finish it. If you don't mind, maybe
Yeah.
I'll email it to you or something.
100%, man.
And you tell
100%.
me what you
We
think.
can do this more times if you'd like. We can get into more stuff. We can talk about other stuff. We can. I'm open to do this more times.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, maybe me and you'll hop on a call. Like, this is super, super, super valuable, guys. I gotta hop. I'm 40 minutes late for a meeting. Does anybody want to ask Marcel questions, and maybe he can just do a little Q&A? And I'll hop off. Is that okay with you, Marcel, for a few
Yeah, sure.
minutes? Okay.
Yes,
guys,
sir. I can do like, more 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll do just 10, 15 minutes. Carla, keep this to, don't bring voice on, because then it'll get crazy.
Yeah,
Just
of course.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it.
All right, man. You are the man, brother. I knew I needed. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. I want to grow this to 100 million for sure. So, this is awesome. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you all, guys. Make sure you make
Appreciate you too.
the next call. Peace. Am I going to end this, or can I leave this without ending it, Carla? Let me make you wait. Let me make you
You can make me the host. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll make you the host. Where you at?
You should be good.
Go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
Dude, my bladder is like not having it.
I'm in the panelist.
Oh, you're in the panelist.
There you go.
All right. Later.
Bye. All right, guys. Yes, Ryan, I saw your question. I will be sure to ask that. Let me make sure there's not additional. I don't want to miss anything here. Okay. Yeah, yes, I saw you have a couple. You wanted feedback on yours? Okay, let me scroll up. Guys, how does it feel like we all just sat in on a very advanced that I was just telling them it feels like we just sat in on a very advanced, breakdown. But I love the back and forth. It's like I absolutely
awesome. I love it too.
It's so good. I'm
glad I could generate some value.
No, you really have. I appreciate it so much. And it does remind me of like the mastermind and just everybody hanging out and working through problems. It's really nice. Okay, so let me scroll down here.
Do you want me to go through the questions as well?
Yeah, and yes, and will you put yours again in the chat? Let me start with the ones that are actually in the Q&A. Just a really quick one from Ryan.
Yep.
What is the difference between a VSL and a webinar?
So, salesmanship wise, they're the same thing. They have the same objective, right? It's just like the terminology is that the webinar is a different funnel than but like the webinar is a VSL, but it's just a different funnel. So the VSL is just an ad, like a Facebook ad, YouTube ad, and they click the ad and they go to your VSL directly. Okay, there's no book a call, book a time to watch the webinar. And the webinar is just a VSL with an extra step. Does that make sense? It's just a webinar with an extra step that they have to, schedule. And if it's a fake live thing, it's not actually live, you know what I mean? And so it's just, webinar is a VSL with an extra step.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Yesim says, is the VSL one secret only as opposed to the automated? You're probably familiar with Russell's.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. The one big idea thing is a central thesis, is the central thesis of your whole entire VSL. The 3 secrets thing is let me explain this in the simplest way possible. So the 3 secrets thing goes in line with your main one big idea. For example, let's say the big idea is the follow-up thing that we were speaking about with that we were talking about with Dan, right? So that's the big idea, is the reason you're not making money is you're not doing follow-ups fast enough, right? And the 3 secrets can be, I think John Benson calls it the 3, what does he call it? The 3, I forget what John Benson calls it, but the 3 secrets add to the one big idea, but it's still one big idea. For example, so the big idea is follow-up, and the 3 secrets can be how to do the follow-up. It's not different ideas, because that would add to the confusion aspect. And remember, your copy cannot be confusing, unbelievable, or boring. And so if you add 3 more secrets on top of, like, 3 more ideas, right? Different ideas on top of the one big idea, which is follow-up, you're just going to confuse the heck out of people, and they're not going to buy. And so the 3 secrets are like 3 steps, 3 secrets that you can use today to implement this follow-up thing. And so you show them what to do, but not how to do it. And so, for example, because you can't give it away, right? The product is your how to do it, right? The course, if it's a course or something. So you just show them what to do without showing them how to do it. For example, the bad bacteria in gut causing the thing. So you can show them, like, this, and this. These 3 foods have been proven to kill bacteria. But then they figure out that these foods, you can say, but these foods are super difficult to find. And so what we did, we partnered up with some scientists, and we put this inside a pill. And so then you sell the thing. Does that make sense? Like, the 3 secrets are not 3 different ideas from the main idea, because then you just confuse it. And you can't have confusion. So the 3 secrets, or the 3 to-dos, or the 3 steps just add up to, just add on top of the idea to further convince them that that's the thing, that one thing that was missing in their puzzle. And it also generates reciprocity, right? So it's the whole Lollapalooza effect of cognitive biases, like a whole list of psychological triggers that we use. And this 3 secrets, or 3 steps, or 3 things to do goes into the reciprocity bias. And so you're giving them information, and they feel obliged to give you something in return, because you're giving them so much information for free.
Yeah, that's very similar to how the way that we teach webinars, where it is really like, even secret number 1 is just the big idea. It's the main switch from the old vehicle to the new vehicle. And then it's like, secret number 2 is like overcoming, let's say, an internal objection. And then secret number 3 would be overcoming an external, but all in all, they're not all separate, right? It's just one big thing.
Yeah,
and then,
it's just building on top of the big idea.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let me go up a little bit. Okay, so Ryan says, in Dan's high ticket selling and creating core content, so the way that we teach VSL is different than what you're talking about here. It's very, very simple. It's like a 10 to 15 minute. You maybe even seen this training in our classroom, where it's just very bird's eye view. I have a method of doing things that's different. This is my method. Here's a couple boxes, right? Here's my method, book a call. It's not super, super persuasive. It's just to show them there is another way. And then they book a call. And that's where, of course, we go into like way more detail.
Like I said, guys, when you're selling a massive, like a mass volume offer, which is like $100, $200, $50, $400, you need this type of VSL that I'm showing you guys right now. And it's also my favorite type because I don't want to, deal with calls and everything like that. I just want to sell on autopilot. And so this is my favorite way of doing it. And keep in mind, you are getting cold traffic to your offer, freezing cold, below zero, to your offer. And so people who never even heard your name before, never even saw your face, and you're selling them at that moment. That's why it's called direct response marketing. We sell them they either buy or they don't buy. They don't Google things, they don't do another thing and then come back to buy. They sell at that moment. That's why it's called direct response marketing. And so that's why we need all this thing so that people will know, like, and trust you, because people will not buy from you if they don't know you, if they don't like you, and if they don't trust you. And so that's why you think you can convince somebody to know, like, and trust you and buy your $100 thing in 5 minutes? Impossible. And so you need more time to create that emotional connection, because we're human beings and we need that emotional connection with somebody to trust them and to like them and to believe in what they're saying, to be able to give them money. And what Dan teaches there doesn't go too far away from this, because it's just a shorter VSL. But on the book a call, it's a longer sales call in order to create that emotional connection and to persuade them into buying the thing. And so it's all human psychology at the end of the day.
Which really, like you said, it makes a lot of sense if you're doing just high ticket and you want to have a staff of a sales team, right?
Yeah, 100%.
In your way of what we've been talking about today, you're basically doing the work up front. You're front loading, you're building all this relationship. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yesim says, do you recommend VSL for booking calls for high ticket, like 10K or 20K, or is the webinar better?
No, I like VSLs better because you lose a bunch of people on the webinar, right? Like Dan said, you lose like half of the entire traffic to the webinar. But again, your specific offer could work better on a webinar. You have to test it. I personally like VSL more. And Sabri Subi has a hour and something long VSL, first selling his high ticket thing. I think it's above $10,000 as well. And so Sabri Subi does it with a VSL. And I think webinars are kind of like dying in this day and age. I think webinars worked so well back in the day because Facebook ads were so cheap. You know what I mean? And so like you could do anything and you can make tons of money because Facebook ads were just so cheap. But then people were figuring out, okay, it's now getting expensive. How can I make more from the same amount of money that I'm spending? Oh, I'm losing 50% of traffic here. So what if I just put the VSL instead of, making them go through the whole entire webinar? And so I think that's how the VSL came to be.
You know what's the funny thing that we've always said is that it's such an unsatisfying answer for a lot of things, but it is very true. All of these will work if you do them well. They will all work. Like you've probably seen, marketing done completely differently, and it works. It works great. It has to be done well. It just has to be done really well, and that's why the way you broke down today is so digestible for people, and hopefully they can get to doing it well. That's the point, because whether or not you do a VSL or a webinar, there are probably people who do hours upon hours long webinars that are doing great, but that you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they are super experienced. They probably split tested it to all over the place. Ton of social proof. Who knows, right? Maybe they're just really good at it. Yeah, they just love that format. And that's not everybody. Some people love the live format. Who of us can say that a live launch webinar doesn't do well? We just watch Hormozy kill it.
Yep. 100%. But that's a different strategy. So what Hormozy did is not per se a webinar, an automated webinar. What Hormozy did is called a product launch, which Jeff Walker invented it, a British guy. Jeff Walker invented the product launch formula, and it's been improved along the years. And so that's what Alex did. That's what Tony Robbins does with his, 3-day live event, and then at the end sells a course. That's a whole different strategy. It's product launch formula. But yeah, 100%, Carla, you're correct. Whatever you do, you can make money doing door-to-door sales if you do it right, knocking on people's doors to sell them ice cream. I don't know. If you do it, you can make money. And so, yeah, you're 100% correct. You got to just do it and not half-ass it. You know what I mean? You need to actually put your heart into it. Quick observation here. Ryan said, Yasmin, just put a small video in the corner that shows you reading the slides. Dan does this all the time. So let me share that's something that you can do, but, and I learned this from Peter Kell. This is super interesting. Look, imagine you're with a slide here, and then my face is on the corner here, right? And so the slide is here. And so when I'm doing the VSL, the reason I don't like this is when I'm reading the VSL, my face is here in the corner and the text is here. What is the viewer doing? He is nodding his head from left to right, looking at me and then the text. And so he's unconsciously doing no with his head. You know what I mean? And so I think it was Peter Kell that teaches this. They did a test where the text was here, and then the guy was in the corner, and then people keep, because they're looking down and then they're looking up, and so they're doing with their eyes and their head a no motion, right? So they're putting in their head no, 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 and then at the end they're like, no, I don't want to buy this, right? And then they tested putting the guy on top and the subtitles below, and then people are nodding yes. And so that increased conversions. And so there's a bunch of these little psychological tricks that you can do, right?
It's crazy you mentioned that.
Extensive. Yeah.
It's so crazy you mentioned the no and the yes of the nodding, because and I don't know if anybody on here watches any true crime, but there are breakdowns with experts of interrogations of criminals. And one of the things that they'll say is you can watch somebody deny doing something and they will nod yes while saying no. They'll like, did you do the thing? And they're nodding yes, no, and they're saying no. You know what I mean? And you can see the disconnect there, and it's crazy because you would imagine you would do everything you could to align yourself, but it's just one of those very subtle things, which I just thought about when you were mentioning that. One of those tiny things that you notice.
100%.
Andrew says, he says several times you mentioned the VSL needs to be hypnotic. Do you do that using NLP, repeating the phrases, and using a rhythmic voice pattern?
Yeah, exactly. So you use that by moving your hands a lot, right, to keep them, paying attention to what you're doing, just like I'm doing in this presentation. If you guys rewatch this whole thing, I think I'm so used to shooting VSL that I'm like, with my hands all over the place. And that helps them pay attention. And also when you say pay attention, it helps them get back to that focus and pay attention on what you're saying. And yeah, man, I mean, you can search, the best thing that you guys can do to learn this stuff, because you don't need to nerd out and study actual psychology and stuff like that. The best and easiest, fastest way to do this is go to the top selling ClickBank offers and see how they make it hypnotic. And you're gonna see everything that I'm telling you that I spoke about today in this video is what they use. The fascination bullets, like in the next few moments, I'm also going to share with you this secret and unknown ingredient from the island of Okinawa, Japan, that made Lisa, a 34-year-old mom, lose I don't know how many kilos in 30 days, right? And so the best way to learn is watching a ton of VSLs. I have a copywriter in my team, actually, that when I hired her, she was a junior copywriter, right? She never even she never even knew she didn't even know what was long format, hour long VSLs. And so I put her on a like 3-month training program. So I trained her on copy. And the first things that I did with her was she was reading a book every 2 days on copy. She was every day watching one entire VSL and manually by hand transcribing the entire VSL. She said that by the end of the program, her hand was like non-existent because she was writing so many VSLs by hand, right? And this takes like if you write an entire VSL by hand, it'll be like half of a journal, right? Because it's like super long. Like my VSLs have like 60,000 words, right? And so no, not 60,000, sorry, like 10 to 15,000 words. No, 60,000 is too much. But that's the best way, I think, to learn copywriting is watching copy, consuming a bunch of copy, because then when you're writing yours, it's going to be second nature, right? It's going to be so embedded in your subconscious mind that it's going to be second nature to write what you got to write, like to be as persuasive and hypnotic as possible. And writing down by hand, pen and paper, the VSLs is an amazing way to get that ingrained in your brain.
Yeah, that's something I think, was it one of Gary Halpert? One of the copy guys, they talk about hand writing out high performing, old school sales letters. And so, yes, 100%. I've heard that before. It makes a ton of sense. Really gets into your brain. So Yesim says that sometimes she gets negative comments about her voice. Would you recommend that somebody, if they get that kind of feedback, have another person read or do their VSL, or is that not helpful feedback? How important is it that the voice be a certain way, meaning tone?
Yeah. So first things first, most negative comments and feedback that you get are from people that aren't marketers and they don't know how to sell. I get hundreds of comments on my Facebook ads saying, get straight to the point, your video is too long. And this is so funny. I've had some wannabe copywriters in my Instagram DM be like, hey man, I'm a copywriter and I think you can do better with your copy if you do this, this, and that. And if you make it shorter. And then I open their Instagram, they have like 50 followers and I'm like, tell me your results. Are you a millionaire? And they're like, no, but I'm studying. So they don't even know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? And so that's first of all. Second of all, I don't know what you're selling. Can you give more information on what you're selling? What is the thing? Because I don't think that having a high-pitched voice is an issue unless you're teaching, I don't know, how to have a low-pitched voice. My two high-pitched voice complaint happened tons of times though, and luckily they see me, she liked me. LinkedIn leads generation. You can pitch it down. Just use any audio software to pitch the voice a couple tones down. But you'd have to A/B test that to see if that's actually going to increase your conversions. I highly doubt it, that because of your high-pitched voice. If you have a 45-minute VSL, yes, there's a tool to do that. Yes, and just search how to make voice. Google it. Google it. It's easy. If you're doing the VSL exactly the way I'm teaching you guys in this presentation, I doubt that if you A/B test high-pitched voice and a lower-pitched voice, I doubt that that'll have a huge impact on conversion. If you're doing exactly like Carla says, do exactly the thing right? Oh my God, that would have been a lifesaver during Clubhouse time. No, I don't think you can do that on live things, but Yeah, any other questions that stood out to you, Carla?
Yeah, let me look. Oh, Taha has a good one. So, how do you script the ads leading to your VSLs? Do you just run an ad that's about that main thesis, or do you have another, or do you do multiple angles? How do you do ads?
Yes. So ad creative is a very good question, by the way, Taha, because that's one of the most important things as well. If your ad is off, you're going to bring the wrong people to your VSL, and nobody's going to buy, right? And so you need to filter people that you want on your ad so that only the people that you want will click your ad to go to the VSL. And I mean, yeah, and creative testing is super important. I test we test here like 10 new creatives per day, right? 10 new creatives per day, and with different angles, with different first 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds of the ad are the most important. And so, for example, one of the best selling ads that I have is because I live in Dubai. And so I'm currently in Brazil, but I live in Dubai. And there's this ad that I shot with a kandora and the head scarf thing that Muslims use. And I was like at the Burj Khalifa with the Burj Khalifa as a backdrop, right? I was like, here at the Burj Khalifa, hey, do you have Instagram? I just figured out this new system from this guy in Thailand that does this, and that. If you're interested in learning more, I just shot a quick presentation. It's on my website. I just shot it with my iPhone, nothing professional. Click the link below to watch that presentation right now. That's the whole entire ad.
Something about those like not very polished, highly produced ads do really well. I mean, I think there's something psychologically, my theory is it feels like a FaceTime call. It feels like a call, like a
Yeah,
conversation,
that does make sense, doesn't it? Yeah, I've never
right?
thought about it like that, but that does make sense. And Ty Lopez talks about this a lot as well, of not making your ads super high production, because
Yeah.
then you're saying like, please, buy from me. I'm spending all this money on editing these ads, so please buy from me.
It's just not
Um,
relatable. Like sometimes there are
yeah,
ads that look really great because they've got a great studio. Like I know we've done ads like that before, but usually
yeah,
it's just Dan holding the phone, talking. You know what I mean? We
yeah,
try really hard to make it relatable. If you're walking or in front of a place that's interesting, like you were,
yeah,
like all those
exactly.
things feel
And
very human and relatable.
another thing on ad creatives is you need to see what's working or what has worked in the past and use that to your advantage, right? And now with AI, man, this is super simple. I mean, I had to do this manually, searching for, or going on ad spy and stuff like that. And one of my best selling creatives as well was a spin on the Ty Lopez here in my garage ad where I was in Dubai with a Ferrari, and then I was like, here in Dubai, just got this Ferrari here. Fun to drive up the Dubai hills. But you know what I like more than materialistic things? Knowledge. And then I go through the whole ad. That was one of the best selling ads as well. So you got to
Nice
get creative with this stuff. You know what I mean? That's why the
knowledge.
name is creative, because you need to be
Yeah, you
creative.
gotta test. You gotta test so much. That's something we used to talk about a ton when we did a lot of coaching on around ads. Is that you just like
Yeah.
when you're trying to spend more and make more, do better. It's just you gotta multiply, multiply, multiply,
Yeah.
multiply. Do more.
And sometimes people get too caught up in, oh no, this one isn't good. I don't like this one. Let me shoot it again. But it might work,
Yeah.
right? It might work. Sometimes we have crazy ideas, and I'm like, nah, that's never going to work. But then I go like, all right, let me try it, and then it absolutely explodes, right? So
Yeah.
it's testing. I
Yeah.
think once I
100%.
was shooting an ad with my phone, and I dropped the phone, and then I picked it up again. I was like, oh, sorry, just dropped the phone, and continued, and that ad sold a lot as well.
Yeah.
And my editor was like, no, let me. I'm gonna. I cut the part out where you dropped the phone, and I was like, no, leave it. Leave the part where you dropped. Let's see, right? Let's see
One
if
of
it
our
works.
highest performing ads ever was a photo This is like years ago. So Dan had a brand, but it wasn't a very big brand. It was a decent brand,
Yeah.
but I'm talking years, like 5 years ago, right? And it was Dan and his wife in a garage, like a parking garage. It was just a photo.
Mm,
They were dressed nice. They were going out, but it wasn't even very posed. It was like he took a selfie and it was kind of, they were like
yeah.
staggered and it like you would never imagine that this is going to be the thing, but
Yeah.
the copy
Yeah.
was really good, but it was,
That
that image grabbed attention because it was like people, relatable people, for whatever reason.
that's so awesome you mentioned that, because while you were speaking, I just remembered of an ad that I ran as well, which was just a picture of me and my wife at the beach with no text on top of the image, nothing, just a picture of me and my wife at the beach, and then the copy
Yep.
on the description of the ad, and that was it. And it sold like so much.
Yeah, it's almost like it looks like a post that you would see in your feed.
Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
somebody is just telling you where they went to dinner, someone you know. It's just, yeah,
Exactly.
I think the name of the game is that very like relatable. I think there's something to that. Um, is
Yep.
there ever a situation? So two more questions and we'll wrap it up. I saw one
Mhm.
since we were on the topic of AI. Do you have any suggestions, and have you tested any building out of those mechanisms or frameworks using AI?
You know what? My team probably uses it more than I do, but I confess that I should use it more than I do. When I was speaking to Dan now, and I was like, "Holy shit, we can use AI to figure out your mechanism." I was like, "Huh, I should use it more." My team uses it like a lot to do tasks,
Right.
but now that I've we've been talking here, I was like, yeah, I need to use AI more. I think it's because, again, guys, I've seen so many VSLs in my life. It's kind of ingrained in my brain, and so I get just ideas out of the blue. But if I can take these ideas and put it in ChatGPT, maybe I can make it even better. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't use it as of right now.
Okay. And then, yes, so last question here, real quick. Is there ever a situation that you've seen where a VSL is not the right format? Ever a time that you feel like people should not use a VSL?
Man,
We're really asking you to
if
sell it.
yeah,
Convince us.
if if I if you were to ask me that a couple years ago, I would have said, yeah, there's some businesses that you shouldn't use a VSL. But now I've seen so many weird, random businesses use VSLs to sell, like a mattress company,
Nice.
selling mattresses using VSLs. And so, no, I don't think there's any business that will not benefit with VSLs. I mean, maybe like a restaurant or something. But
Sure.
even with the restaurant, you can have the homepage with the video, like obviously not as persuasive because you don't need to convince them of any idea. You just want to sell food. And so what do people go to a restaurant website for, right? To see what time they open, what's their menu. So you can have a video showing your place, showing people happy there, eating, whatever. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I lied. One more question. Okay. And I promise that
Yep,
we'll
no
stop.
problem. I'm good.
So Taha
We can do a
asks,
couple more.
Does changing the format on mobile to a vertical VSL help with conversions? Everyone does them on ClickBank. And then they say, I'm selling high ticket, but I still don't want them to skip through the VSL.
Change the format on mobile to a vertical VSL. Just don't want them to script through the VSL. Yeah, I mean, so the vertical VSL is because back in the day, I used to do horizontal, like I think it's 16:9 aspect ratio. You know that horizontal video thing,
Yeah.
and it does well. It does well, right? I mean, my friend that does 1.5 million a month, he does vertical, but I've told him to test. I mean, horizontal. I've told him to test vertical, and now he's doing another VSL vertical to test if it's going to outperform it. But yeah, so I started out with horizontal, and then I went to vertical when I checked the Google Analytics, and I saw that 95% of my traffic was from mobile. And so I was like, let me, adapt this to mobile. And if you check the top selling ClickBank offers, you'll see that they also do vertical. It's a better format for conversion, yeah. But I didn't A/B test it. And so A/B test means that I put both of them side by side and see the conversion. I did not do that. I just put it vertical and sold. I didn't test it side by side. But that's what I would recommend. I would recommend you do vertical just because 90% of traffic is on mobile.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Time to edit the VSL vertical. We show the VSL after the opt-in, right?
But before that, Taha, before that, you need to have all this other thing right. All these things that we're talking about are tweaks, right?
Yeah, good
Before
point.
you do the tweaks, you need to have the rest of the thing right. And so you can make money with vertical, you can make money with horizontal. I mean, this guy makes 1.5 million a month with horizontal, going against my advice. And so, you know what I mean? You need to have these things dialed down first, the unique mechanism and your offer.
Yeah, that's a really good point because a lot of times people get excited about the tiny things that you can add on.
Yeah.
Right. And those are just like tiny brush strokes. Like you got to get the main picture up there on the canvas, and then you can test all these little things to like until you're content. I know we do a lot of that. We do a lot of that, but look at Dan's rewriting this in VSL. He's not going to be testing little things he's got to nail the messaging. Once the messaging, once the copyright, once that part's done, then he can tinker all he wants. But right now, it's just that part. That's the most important part.
Yasim said, we show the VSL after opt-in, right? It's not direct from without collecting data for
high ticket.
Oh, I thought you meant high ticket call. Yeah. So that's one way that you can do it. I know Sabri Subi. I think Sabri Subi gets your name and email before showing you the VSL. Yeah. That's one day. That's one way of doing it, right? But the way I've tested it, and when I put the opt-in before the VSL, it completely fucks my conversion rates, and I just lose tons of money. And so it's just VSL directly add directly to the VSL.
Yeah, we've done that we've had people do that with case studies before, where they'll go straight from an ad to like a case study video. Nothing else. And then
man, look, if you want to be rich, copy what rich people do. Go on ClickBank, search the top offers and see, do they run an opt-in before the VSL? No, all of them run ad directly to VSL.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something about the friction, right?
Yeah. You're adding more steps to get to the point, right? That's why I don't like webinars as well.
Yeah, you just collect the email address in a different spot.
Yeah, I just collect it at the checkout. Not even before the checkout. When you click buy and there's a pop-up, put name and email before you go to the checkout. No, click buy, go direct to checkout. And if they abandon the checkout, my checkout system captures their email and name so that we can try to recover that sale. How do you collect email addresses when they didn't apply? Yeah, when you're doing a book a call, okay, let's take a couple steps back. My thing is VSL direct to purchase. But when you're doing book a call funnel, then you have to get their email addresses. How are you going to book a call if you don't get their email? So you have to do it. But you don't have to do the opt-in before the VSL. You can do it after. It's not a problem. When they fill out the book a call form, you can get their emails there. Let me see if there's one more awesome question. And then we can wrap up. how long have we been here for? I mean, it feels like
A really long time, but
nothing.
I can do. We used to do these back to back, and we would go like I don't know. I'd be here on these calls for like 5, 6 hours straight. It's fun. I
Wow.
love it, but I know
I love teaching as well. And
I
so
do too. It's my favorite.
let's see. Correct. Let's follow VSL form book call. Yeah. Do you usually appear on camera? Yes, I do, but you can also do just the slideshow with no face. Like my guy that does 1.5 million a month does not show up on camera. I just like to. Can't run direct traffic to affiliate on ClickBank offer. I think you can. Yeah, you can. ClickBank is the guys, any last question? Give me a very good one that's going to generate an enormous amount of value for you guys. But I think that I've hammered the point home when I said that the mechanism and the offer is the most important thing in this whole entire thing. And the resources that I gave you guys, the $1 million Goldmine VSL resources, the ClickBank Marketplace, the Sabri Subi VSL, the Mind Valley VSL, the Alex Hormozy acquisition training. I think this is enough material to keep you guys busy, and inshallah, in the next couple of days, have your own VSL.
Yeah, and also I'm Corey, to answer your question. I'm gonna just put this up. I'm gonna try to put this up tonight, but don't hold me to that. I'm gonna move as fast as I can. But yes, we're a small team. We do crazy great things. We're tiny. I will get it up as soon as I can, and then I'm going to make a post in the community. I want to see you guys like create VSLs. Like I want a follow-up on this because this
That'd be
is
amazing.
crazy. I want you guys to go follow those resources, go to ClickBank, model what's already working and plug in your own, messaging into that, like you've been learning about today, and make something, put it up. Let's get some numbers, adjust, make some money. It's going to be good.
Okay, so last question here, and we'll let you guys go. Marcel, do you suggest only showing our face or only slide, or a combination of both? So you can do, like I said, you guys are focusing too much on the details without focusing on the big picture with it, which is mechanism offer. You can do the shittiest VSL ever, but if you have a mechanism dialed down, you're convincing them you are convincing them that your solution is the missing piece to the puzzle, they will buy. And if you have a good offer, right? Of course. But if you have these two big picture things dialed down, then you can focus on the details. I mean, I've seen I've seen VSLs only with face work super well. Mine is only face and subtitles, right? And I've seen VSLs only with slides, no face. And I've seen VSLs with a mix of both. A VSL that was a top ClickBank offer for a couple of years, actually. I think it was Okinawa, which was a weight loss pill. And they used a mix of an actor, like talking, hey guys, I'm going to share with you the secret, and slides. And so you can do both. All right, guys, I think that's enough. I hope I've generated a good amount of value to you guys.
Gosh, it's been so great. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we were
I
able to do this.
appreciate the
And
opportunity as
guys,
well.
guys, think about it this way. Last month, this all happened because he's in the community and just happened to ask a really good question. And we had that dialogue between you and Dan, and this is why we're here. So
Yep.
it's great. Learning from each other is amazing. So
Awesome.
I'm looking
Thanks
forward to
everybody
seeing
for
all.
the amazing questions.
Yeah, great job. Great job, Marcel. Appreciate it. And everybody, please take action. I'm going to be bothering you and nagging you, hounding you in the community.
Yep.
I want
Oh,
to
and
see
everybody,
VSLs.
please, 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 everybody go watch the video that changed my life and made me into a millionaire 7 years later, which is Jim Rohn, Best Life Ever. Search it up on YouTube.
Yeah,
That video changed my life.
That's a really, really good, yes, good thing to leave it off on. Yeah, I agree. Go check it out,
Appreciate it,
guys,
guys.
and I will see you inside the community. Thank you so much, Marcel. Super appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys all later. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Carla. Bye-bye.